Why?
Let's go!
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello and welcome Friday, November 11th, the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat today, as I do here on Fridays, while Pat is down in Texas for game day.
Football! What an intro!
Man, we got close, boys. We got close last night. We had another barn burner of a Thursday night Prime Video football game on Amazon Prime with Alan Kirk, an absolute barn burner. There was a little bit of weather that they dealt with, some gusting winds. It didn't look as bad as I thought, as we heard going into Diggs, did we? Huh?
No.
Was it gusting 40? It definitely felt like constant precipitation somewhat. But
feels like the media may have been building up this storm to get eyes on their weather channels.
So we're saying this was not a Joe DiNardo operation. This is something else. These guys were not accurate?
Joe would have been disgusted. I mean, there was wind, there was rain, but it wasn't what
the severity of
we were told.
Yeah, the Panthers, obviously, they come away with a 25-15 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons come down. I think what it comes down to, Falcons could not run the ball. Panthers could run the ball. Deonta Foreman was an absolute monster. I like his story. Everything about him seems cool. Like he seems to run with some edge to himself. And the Falcons, I feel like, never really defensively got into a rhythm. The game was weird, especially early. The game was slow moving, right? It just felt like a couple other Thursday night games we've seen. I feel like maybe a little bit, right?
The teams aren't great. I mean, it was what it was. Like even with the weather, it probably wasn't. Even if it was perfect weather, like we talked about yesterday, it probably wasn't going to be a great game. Even though 2 weeks ago it was a great game. I mean, when the quarterbacks aren't great, I mean.
And even. PJ Walker, that it was considered a run, right?
Yeah.
Chenault's.
Because
it was a backward pass.
Yeah.
So it would have been a fumble if he would have dropped that thing, obviously. But man, what a nice little run. Or no, he threw it forward, but it was behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, there you go. How did he score here? I thought he was going to get tackled 40 times.
Yeah, I mean, that guy on the Falcons, they basically ran into each other.
You'll see here, they did run into each other.
This dude right here.
Hey, man, that hurts. 44 was rolling, though. He could have jumped and clipped his heels, but it would have been a little too late. He'd have fallen into the end zone. But I guess overall, from top to bottom, if you guys had to rank this game compared to the other Thursday night games, have you thought about it? Is it up there right in the middle? Does it matter?
They honestly just all blend together because they all just stink. They really do. Like, I mean, 25-15, but it wasn't close. Like, the Falcons looked like shit all night. Yeah. They scored, with 3 minutes left, but like Mariota couldn't do anything. I don't know. The Falcons are just hard to figure out because it's like I feel like we all want them to be good and we kind of want them to kind of take that next step, but they're just so inconsistent. Like they look great one week and then the next week they look like they did last night. They're just. I do love Arthur Smith gets so fucking pissed on the sidelines, and they
awesome.
and
they
they
have
know
some close-ups
exactly. They know anytime there's like a flag or anything, it's like, hey, get a close up.
And he has that crazy he's got that crazy mouth movement, like just so anxious. Like I get it. I coach little kids sometimes, and you find yourself like, man, what the hell am I doing? That's what Artie Smith is doing the whole game.
You think he loved when Mariota tried throwing the ball 30 yards down the field from his back? Or?
I loved that.
Yeah, that was the best play of the game right here.
Bang. To defend this guy, that's a pretty athletic move he had right there. Now he's a Heisman Trophy winner, obviously, but that was a hell of an athletic move here.
I mean, what if he completes that and it's a touchdown?
What if?
I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
Look at this. So when does he down officially?
Right there.
Boom. When his cake's hit, he's down.
Yeah, it's basically what Mahomes did in the Super Bowl, but cooler.
He still threw it 35 yards.
Yeah.
It is kind of a sweet play because you see he knows he can't put the ball on the ground right there. You get the ball on the ground, he's down, so he recognizes that at the last second, tuck it. Is there any way this could have physically happened that he could have got this off without being down first?
Yeah, he doesn't.
If he would have hovered his somehow hovered.
Maybe if he was Mary Lou Retton.
Maybe
he
the gymnast.
Yeah,
that's a current gymnast you mentioned. What is she from the '80 Olympics? When was she?
Yeah, she won us gold on a fucking broken leg.
Goddamn right.
Wait, Mary Lou Retton?
Oh, yeah.
Are you thinking Carrie Strug? She did the flips with a broken leg.
Yeah, you're thinking of Carrie Strug. Mary Lou Retton was a legend.
From the 70s.
Either way.
Right?
Hey,
My
either
parents
way.
talked about her.
Hayes, okay?
Either way, it was a hell of a play, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was a hell of an athletic play. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't. Do you give either of these teams a chance?
Yeah.
No, not at all. And like you asked if we expect, where's this rank with the other Thursday games? Like
That was a dumb question. I almost take that back.
Well,
It was
no.
a dumb question.
Here,
Because
no,
Ty's
no.
right. They do all kind of merge together.
The first one was good.
First one was good.
Yeah, at least we knew going
Chiefs
into
Chargers.
this that it was
There we go.
raining. It was going to be a shitty game. The Chiefs Chargers. I mean, shit. Bucks Ravens just happened. That was a good game too. Like there are.
Yeah, it's
some
expectations. No one expected much out of this game.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It
You
was
knew
fun.
shit.
It was a football game. It was in the NFL. It's on a Thursday night when there's no other games being played. So yeah, we're gonna watch.
I think they've got unlucky. Like the first Chiefs Chargers was good. The Steelers and Browns, you
That
thought
should
they'd be
good.
better.
Should be good.
Dolphins and Bengals, that was the Tua game, so it wasn't
Yeah.
as good as it could have been.
Not great for optics.
Broncos and Colts, you thought were going to be good.
12-9.
Bears, Commanders, I mean, you knew that was going to be a
Yeah,
bad
but you're
one.
going to get a dud. You're going to get a
You're
dud.
gonna
on
get a
the
dud
schedule.
here and there. You're right.
Which is fine. Who cares? Like honestly, sometimes for the broadcasters, it makes it more fun if there is kind of a dud game. They can kind of just explore the space and kind of mess around.
They've
a
done
little
a lot
bit,
of
honestly.
exploring.
They have. I like Kirk and Al's relationship, don't you? Like I feel like it's growing on the air to where you can hear Kirk's little chuckles sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like Kirk gets a kick out of what Al is saying. I feel like.
I think there was one point, it might have been towards the end of the game last night, where I think it was after the Falcons scored, and Kirk said something along the lines like, well, Al, you think the Falcons have another touchdown in him? And Al was just like, no. That was just the
Does
end
not
of the
care.
discussion. It was awesome. But, I mean, yeah, it is what it's, because every team has to play on Thursday night, right? So it's like, you're going to get a clunker here and there, and it's just been unfortunate that some of these marquee matchups that we thought were going to be really good before the year just haven't been worth the shit. But I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
It's a
The
guess.
league as a whole, there's 5 or 6 good teams, and everyone else kind of stinks. It seems like.
And especially this year with what's been going on, could anyone have predicted who would be good, who wouldn't be good, what might make a good game? We don't know week to week here. Like
No.
everyone's 3-5. I feel like is everyone in the league 3-5, 3-6, 4-6, like
Pretty
whatever.
much.
Basically.
Everyone's chunked right in that little area, and we're just waiting to see who separates either way. I guess.
Yeah, like the wild card, I think on both sides, more so in the AFC, is so close. It's like a game or a half game between 3 of the 4 teams, aside from who is it, Buffalo or San Diego? I don't know, or LA Chargers, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, we looked at the slate for this weekend too. It's not as if the Thursday night game is the only game this weekend that's like, hey, this game stinks. There are a lot of bad football games this weekend, but like Ty mentioned before the season, Diggs, like before the season, when you're looking forward to some of these games, like you would assume at least 1 or 2 of these would be good. But again, I don't want to hammer home that Indy sucks, but Indy versus the Raiders before the season, you would have probably thought, hey, that's going to be a great game.
Well, just look at like the whole third row there. The
Yeah.
whole 4:00 slate before the season. People were probably thinking, like the Raiders had all the hype going into this year. Same with the Colts, Cardinals, and Rams.
That's
like that.
before the season, you'd say absolutely. This is
Even
going
the
to be a
second
shootout.
row.
This is going to be
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Even the second row. Like really, all these games, and maybe that is just
Cowboys Packers still has. Does it still have some like? Is it still special? Like when you see Cowboys Packers helmet 425, okay, that should be a big game. It feels like.
I think so, and I think a big part of that is McCarthy coming back too. And I don't know. I mean,
Can Aaron figure? Is Aaron going to figure it out against McCarthy?
right?
too?
And
Like,
with how many guys they have,
what if they
beat?
show McCarthy and he's like, well, these guys been terrible for 6 weeks. I got to figure it out this week.
And an hour into the game, it's just going to be dark at Lambeau too, like at 5:30.
No, it'll be dark at 4:35. I mean, it's Central
It'll be-
time there.
that's what I mean. Like,
it's
it'll
dark
be-
quick.
And I think the Packers have beat the Cowboys like 8 of their last 10. So like they have in recent history they have dominated them. And I mean, at least for Packers fans, when McCarthy left a couple years ago, it was like you couldn't wait. Like get this guy the fuck out of here. And then a few years later, everything comes full circle, and it's like I might get emotional and start crying on Sunday. I miss that son of a bitch. I do.
He's so funny, especially when they're winning. When you get to see Big Mike open up a little bit with the press, it's good for the league. It's good for the Cowboys, and he and Jerry's relationship. How he talks about Jerry, all pub is good pub. But they have very differing views on certain things. I feel like, but they probably seem to be great friends.
Well, and because of how people feel about Rodgers, like they're going to watch that game strictly because they kind of enjoy to see him fail. But if they do figure it out against the Cowboys as the game of the week, and turn this season around, that would also be incredible. And we get the first Germany game on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I'm really pumped for that, not only because it's Seattle versus excuse me.
What was that, Diggs?
I know
Is that like an
I know
ARG?
that.
Wait,
Like
what'd
a
you say?
pirate?
Can you just repeat it real quick? I don't know exactly. What?
Aye.
Is that not yes in German?
Was that German? Was
that not
German?
yes for
I don't know.
German?
Is it Ty? You're the resident smart guy.
No, I'm not fluent in German, unfortunately.
I'm not sure either.
I figured because is nine. No.
Nine.
Nine.
Okay.
That's no. Is that no?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I figured ein was yes.
Oh, take out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Take out the end.
Boom!
There it is. You nailed it.
J Wall.
That makes no sense.
Fucking hey, Jawal.
There's no way it's pronounced Jawal.
No, it's Jaw.
Is it Jaw?
Maybe it's Jow, like one of our friends who lived in China for a
Not
little.
fucking Jawal, dude.
Jawal. Okay.
Like, hey, you going to get a fucking beer at the Hofbrauhaus? Jawal.
Wait, what was that sound?
Wait, what?
Jawohl.
Yahol.
Yahoo. Yahoo.
Jawohl.
What's touchdown?
Oh,
Jawohl?
W's like a V in German, I believe.
Jawol.
Say it one more time, Dave, so we can get so we can put a bow on this.
Jawol.
Nailed it. Okay, good.
boom.
Germany game, right?
Yeah. That will be
Who's playing
sweet.
again? Who's playing, Con?
It is Seattle versus the Bucks. So I mean, that's a
boy.
great game. Even though the Bucks are 4-5 or whatever the hell their record is, like that is still going to be a pretty great matchup, especially with how Geno Smith and the Seahawks.
Did you
are playing.
see? I'm sure you guys did see the clip. They're trying to get Geno, asking him what he did on the flight over.
Yeah.
How'd you stay loose on the flight over? Geno's smart, man. I enjoy his personality. I said, you're trying to do something there. I said, I think you're trying to do something there. However he handled it was perfect response, and then he didn't give it any more light, I guess.
No, he kind of gave him it was nice to get out on the field and do the high knees.
Yeah,
you
you're
know?
right. Okay. Yeah, so he handled it perfectly.
Right,
He did
yeah,
a little
for
bit jab and was also very classy with it. So, okay.
That's the team everyone's rooting for this year.
And you're right.
See, it feels like everyone
Feel good,
universally
yeah.
is like, hey, let's hope the Seahawks win.
Is it because we all thought, hey, rebuilding year, figure this out, they're not going to be good? Is it more of that, or is it more of, hey, all this stuff has come about Russell Wilson and people are happy to see Seattle doing well without Russell? Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Some of it,
Yeah,
probably.
it feels like definitely some people have turned on Russell Wilson, but I think it's more so just because like Geno Smith has been a career backup, and no one really thought he was that good when he did get his chance to play, whether it was in New York or anywhere else. And now that he has kind of replaced the guy that just got $260 million
Very
in
likable guy,
extension.
too.
Like Tyler Lockett, DK, Kenneth Walker, like it feels like there are a lot of good stories on there. And, from jump, when it was Seattle versus Denver on Sunday Night Football, it feels like or Monday Night Football, whatever the hell it was, it feels like from then everyone was kind of like, oh, okay, the Seahawks team, pretty good story. They just won one game, but now they're 6-3 and they're in the top of the division. It's unbelievable.
Are they going to? When is Geno's contract situation? Like, have they talked anything? Hey, what are they going to do after this year?
I don't know,
What
because
is he going to ask
he's
for?
been in
Like
Seattle
he
for
wants
so
an extension,
long.
obviously.
He wants something. They'll probably work out a couple year something to make him happy and keep him there and playing well. They're not going to give him a 5-year deal. I would
No, definitely. But if they go to the playoffs this year, it's like, why would you, know? I mean,
keep it going.
Yeah, exactly.
He's on a 1 year, 3.5 right now.
And that team should only get better as they mature a little bit and get older as well.
I think that is part of the reason why people like him too, because you can't really call them like a band of misfits because all these guys are in the NFL and they're good. But when you're getting this much production from rookies who are drafted
From
in, like,
people who a lot of football fans don't really know many people on the Seattle Seahawks.
especially, I mean, if you don't live on the West Coast, or not even the West Coast, if you don't live on the upper West Coast, like there's a good chance you're not seeing very many Seahawks games. I mean, now more so because they're winning, so they'll kind of get more national spotlight. But like early on in the season, like if you weren't in the greater Seattle area, like the chances of you watching a Seahawks game were slim to none if they weren't on primetime. So you get all these guys who are playing well, and a bunch of these rookies who no one really knows that are making massive impacts. Like it's hard not to root for them, especially. And then you couple that with all the stuff you hear about Russ, with how much he had, his preferential treatment and stuff like that. And
the wristband thing
Yeah,
recently
exactly.
too, where he wouldn't wear the wristband. Geno does. It makes the offense easier to
More
run and more
efficient.
efficient, which makes sense. But Con, what were you saying? You had something.
I was going to say, it feels like the opposite of what happened with Brady and Belichick. It felt like when Brady left, everyone was kind of on his side and, were against how Bill Belichick kind of ran everything. And now that, when you look at the Seattle situation where everything's kind of turned out there, it feels like everybody's on the Pete Carroll side of things more so because of him turning the team around. And obviously, like Ty mentioned, like the rookie draft picks and just who Pete Carroll is, like very energetic and old as hell, but still,
not
somehow
somehow
catching balls.
71, is that right?
Yeah, 71. Yeah, still
He gives a lot of
doing-
people hope.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you look at Russ, it's just like, oh, okay, so this guy, not only all the social media stuff, which is just, in the commercials, that's a separate conversation, but just how he is on the field. Like, he hasn't played well. So because of that and because of the contract he, demanded, but, who knows if he demanded it, but the contract he signed before playing it down for the Broncos.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy that when you think now that I remember when he signed, I'm not trying to claim like I knew anything or predicted he wouldn't be playing like this, but I was like, did they have to pay him all that? Like, did they have to give him that big a deal when he was 33, 34 years old, right? Like, why did they? They really had to?
It feels like quarterback. I mean, the quarterbacks have...
Credit to him and his agent for getting it. Like, I just didn't... Yeah. I was surprised at the length and, like, how long you're locked up with Russ.
Well, I think Denver.
Part of it, too, though, is I think a lot of people just assumed last year, like the last 2 years, have been an anomaly, and you look at everything he did before that, and it's like, oh, that's the Russell Wilson that we're getting. But... and you get kind of awestruck by Brady and Rodgers and these guys who have, the older they've gotten, they've continued to be the same guy or maybe even played better. So you kind of get like this false sense of, oh, that's what's going to happen with Russ, too. He takes care of his body. The older that he gets, there's not going to be a drastic drop-off in play. Like, that's not the way it works. When you age, typically
And when you're running, he's not a running quarterback, but he's a guy that absolutely uses his feet as a huge asset.
Takes a lot of hits, yeah.
Takes a bunch of hits. And usually, like, look at Tom Brady, he's 45. Yeah, you could say he's slowing down this year, but Tom's been able to do it because running was never part of his game. No. And everyone's going to naturally slow down. If you can keep your arm strength up, your decision-making is going to get better with time. So, yeah, when you're reliant on something like that as physical as your legs, yeah, it's gonna end earlier than others. I think.
And it feels like they did it, too, because of, you look at how much success some of these teams. I mean, the last two Super Bowl champions, both were just quarterbacks who left, their bad team, went to a better team as a whole, and then won the Super Bowl. And Denver was always that conversation, like, man, if they get that
quarterback away.
Exactly.
Quarterback away, this roster.
Like, they were desperate. And
it might be still.
It's similar to, absolutely. But, I mean, now they traded Bradley Chubb, so they've kind of changed a lot of things because of how they haven't had success. But it does seem like it was just a desperate organization. Like, Denver wanted a quarterback. They didn't want to wind up and do what they've done the past 6 years since they went to the Super Bowl. And you kind of seen it with Cleveland, too. Cleveland, they won a playoff game. Then Baker gets hurt and is shit for a year. And then instead of trying to run it back maybe for one more year with a healthy Baker, they almost panicked and paid Deshaun Watson while everything with Deshaun Watson and all those allegations were going on. So it feels like quarterbacks just have these teams by the balls. Like, I haven't played for you yet, but you got to sign me to a $260 million deal right now. Because if you don't, then I'm going to leave.
Think about it. If you've shown to be – and also I think the teams are kind of worried that if we don't pay this guy and he goes somewhere else, someone else pays him, and he becomes or continues to be a monster and wins a Super Bowl, goes on a run, and we're terrible and don't have a quarterback – that's coming down on me if I'm the GM owner of that team.
Well, and that's, again, kind of going back to the Patriots. That's what happened with Tom Brady and Bill. Tom Brady, they didn't pay him or they didn't give him the guaranteed money that he wanted. He leaves and he wins a Super Bowl, and then the Patriots go 7-9. Like, teams don't want to do that, and they don't want to have to do that whole entire PR thing. Because for a lot of people, when that happened, were pissed at the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick because they ran Brady out of town and like that whole entire side of it too, which I don't know for a fact, but I know that people were upset about it.
It's easy to say it now too, but it is kind of crazy that they hired Nathaniel, like a guy who has no head coaching experience.
Right.
Like you would think, hey,
thinking back now,
we're bringing Russ in. Like, let's get someone who has been an OC or called plays in this league for a long time or who has head coaching experience, so we don't have to. Like all the game management and the bullshit that first-time head coaches usually go through, like we can just eliminate all that stuff, and that won't be an issue because it clearly has been a massive part of why they've struggled.
Yeah, Diggs, what was that?
In reference to the Broncos, you've never been on a team, obviously, that has done this. I assume
I might have. I don't know.
I don't think so. Where you traded away potentially your best defensive player.
I have not.
Like the Broncos were an incredible under team because you knew they were going to dominate on defense and they were going to be terrible on offense. Is there a chance the defensive locker room, like there are players in the NFL, so they're still going to try. But there's a chance that that defense just
quiet quitting? Are you talking about quiet quitting?
A little bit of quiet quitting. Like as the year goes on, I mean, we've seen it many times where great defenses with shitty offenses. By the end of the year, that defense becomes shitty too. Because
and some guys get banged out. You see guys all of a sudden missing a game here, missing a game there with little injuries, things that you probably wouldn't normally keep you out. Yeah, that happens. Not that dumb term quiet quitting that's going around, right?
Yeah.
Which means what? I go there, I just don't try hard.
First off, quiet quitting has been a thing for centuries and
years
centuries
and years,
in cubicles. Okay, you go there.
It means you don't like your job, right?
Yeah, pretty
You're
much.
usually probably quiet quitting about your second week on the job.
Yeah.
And then, you're just holding on for dear life.
I quiet quit for 6 years, by the way.
So it just means you're a terrible employee, right?
No.
You're a quiet quitter?
You just
Can
do
you
the-
still be productive?
Oh yeah, you do the bare minimum.
Oh, just do the bare minimum. Just get by. Just figure it out.
You hit your goals. You do the bare minimum. And then
Quiet quitting. Key takeaways. The term quiet quitting refers to employees who put no more effort into their jobs than absolutely necessary.
85% of the workforce.
So scrubs. You don't want these are terrible employees.
Exactly.
No.
No.
You do what you're asked to do.
Great.
Yes, terrible
Kick the curb.
employees.
Kick
yes.
rocks, bro. We need to bring someone in that's going to be productive.
they're
and
good
is a
fellas.
soldier for the cause.
These
We
aren't
don't need
people
you.
who are trying to fucking show off every day. You just go.
We don't want them to show off. We want them to strive to take the boss's job. We want hey, you're sitting there, you're in a cube. You need to you want the corner office, right?
That's
And
the
quiet
opposite.
That
quitters.
does not happen in corporate America, my friend. If you are a cube monkey, you are going to be a cube monkey for the rest of your career, usually.
I heard. I mean, this
Unless
is a
you're
little bit.
kissing ass.
This is a little unrelated to football, but I heard a lot of the open concepts of offices are being like debunked. That those suck now. They didn't work. Like wasn't it Facebook and started it where we don't have cubes or offices. We have a bunch of tables with computers and it's all fun. We're all rallied together. I heard that hasn't worked very well.
Nah, yeah, but it's weird because the guy
People
who
hate each other.
recommended it was the Napster Justin Timberlake, and he was a genius because he.
Wait, is this the
changed
WeWork guy?
How is
No,
Facebook
no,
doing?
that I forget what
That was
guy's name was.
Jared Leto was
Jared Leto,
amazing
yeah.
as that guy. What is this? The research on open. Look at you guys. Is that young Jamie back there? Is this the Joe Rogan Experience? Good
pull it up.
job,
Jamie,
guys.
pull it up, please.
So the research on open office structures decreased productivity with 1 in 3 workers saying the distractions, noise, and general sensory overload in open workspaces slows them down.
Makes sense.
Job dissatisfaction that causes 13% of workers to cite their open offices as a reason to leave. Also, there's some babies in there that don't like their job and they own an office.
Yeah, that's part of it, but
Right?
Yeah.
the grass
But I
is
agree
always
to be
greener.
stupid. I don't want to sit there. If I have to make 80 cold calls a day, do I want
No, you don't
do
want
I want
people
Tone
listening. No.
just sitting there quiet quitting next to me? Hello, Mrs. Wilson. Would you like to buy some of this?
No, I mean,
can't do that.
If you have you want to have walls up in a
Yes.
cube so that you can, hey, guess what? I want to do absolutely nothing for the next 2.5 hours. You can't do that if you're just sitting at a conference table with
And
a
plus,
bunch
you
of
got to
people
put your
around
cool
you.
sports calendar up.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah,
And you
there's
have
that.
Your
Oh,
sweet
like
bobblehead.
posters of chicks.
Yeah,
Playboys.
Where are you going to
So
put your mirror
cool.
to make sure that you can see your boss walking up from behind you?
Yep.
And then where do they place that button under your desk, Diggs, that
Exactly.
you always wanted, that you can lock your
no.
door?
You're talking
Is that
about
what
the
you're
one
looking
in your
for?
attic?
There's no doors on. There's no doors on cubes. Okay.
I was saying your corner office.
I didn't
You were
have
middle
it.
management.
No, I was not.
No, Tony was in the cube. He actually was the one that brought Big Wet Butts to us. He said, "Look, I would always do this whenever I get bored in the office."
You would give them the
Here's
energy
how
to
you
keep
here's,
awake.
Here's how you get around the fucking safe search in the office.
That's right.
Boom, and it worked.
Speaking of that, Marcus Mariota said there was a comment. He said he played outside of himself last night. Ty, why are you laughing? We're just a quick
That was
transition.
just-
to
no, that
Marcus
was a great
Mariota.
segue.
That's what I'm saying. Though.
Bro's
What does that
pro.
mean? He said we could not. They couldn't run the ball. Atlanta could not run effectively. So he kind of played outside of himself. Is that kind of the quote he said?
I mean, did they get away from the game plan because it was raining out and they threw it for the most times they've ever thrown it?
Was it like
I don't
he,
get it.
entire
he was
year.
on national TV and he was like, "Oh, I need to show
Did you guys?
off and
What
do
is that? I
more
don't know
than
if we have that quote. I didn't want to. I don't need to pull it up. I'm sorry for the boys if I was trying to put you on the spot. But I read that and I'm like, what do you mean he played out? I don't understand what he even means.
In fairness, if we're pulling up job research studies that cite open offices in 0.3 seconds, we should be able to find that for you. Just give us a minute or two.
That's not a bad chime in there, Nick. It's a good point. You know what? But I don't know what he meant. Maybe he meant, hey, I shouldn't have tried to throw the ball from my back while I was doing a spinning 360 kickflip situation.
Yeah, that type of stuff. I mean, a lot of like cross body throws down the field where it's just like, hey, maybe, I mean, he should have thrown like 6 picks last night, and it was so wet that, I mean,
They keep track of that, right? Like interceptable passes, but that were dropped.
turnover worthy plays.
yeah.
That's a big argument. I know people on how they when people
Kenny Pickett had
talk
none.
about it, right?
Yeah, and there's also a play, and I think it was just shown, but Tony has brought this much more to my attention as of late. Marcus Mariota was, 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and instead of throwing the ball out of bounds, he just ran out of bounds. It took like an 8
This
yards.
one.
This one.
Yeah, it's right
Nothing
here.
makes
What's
me,
the D lineman's name again?
Derek Brown.
Oh my
away.
goodness! I don't know if you can run that back, Foxy. He threw the O lineman so hard. He threw him the opposite way too. Normally you'd throw him. I think he'd throw him outside where his leverage was going. He like went against the grain and tossed him inside. Oh,
he
tossed
ran
him
out
outside.
of field goal range.
That's
Yeah.
instantly. I just
It's just
toss
wild.
that. Toss
Exactly.
Throw the ball. That's what he looked like. He at least knew what he did after he put his head up. Like, oh man! But that's instantly when I thought, you're punting the ball now. What are you doing?
That's a big game for them because if the Bucks lose, then they're in first place, and now obviously not the case.
Diggs, you want to read this?
Sure.
Read it. What's it say at the top? This is what Marcus Mariota said after the game.
I was playing a little bit outside of myself, trying to make a play too many times, and it hurt our team. They started loading up the box, Mariota said. Okay. I had to read all that to make sure that wasn't a quote.
Yeah, sure.
They started loading up the box. Unfortunately, when you're not making any plays in the passing game, they can do that. They can get you in third and long, and it's tough to convert those. We have to do a better job of staying in third and manageable, doing a better job on first and second down, especially throwing the football that way. We can keep things going.
Yeah, of course they started loading the box. They're going to do that all the time, aren't they?
Yeah, and I thought they could still, I feel like if this was going to be a ground and pound game, they had the advantage. But, you just showed Derek Brown and Burns. It feels like they just kind of came to play and Atlanta didn't.
They did. Like, what's Carolina? What's Carolina going to look like next year? Who's going to be on the team? Who's like? I have no clue. We don't know.
It's tough to say too because it seems like the deck is stacked against Steve Wilkes. Like, he's probably not going to be back, and then so you hire a new coach. All the coordinators are probably getting fired. Like, completely different philosophy. Yeah,
and
they
who
pretty
wants
much
that
already have.
gig too? Like, if you're one of the hotshot head coaching candidates, right now, is Carolina one of the more appealing gigs?
I mean, if you're an offensive guy and they have a top whatever draft pick, and you get a chance to mold a guy like C.J. Stroud or something,
and somebody who wants what did Rule get? 7 years, $80 million.
Yeah, true.
Wants that. I'm saying no one's going to turn it down, but I'm saying if you're you want to lure like a Sean Payton type guy, I think he has better options. He would figure something else out.
And he can't coach. I believe we looked it up till 2024. Yeah, but they mentioned it during the broadcast, and I was thinking about how terrible of a situation Matt Corral is in. He'll never get a real shot, it feels like, because he was a second or third round pick, and now they're going to have a top 5 pick. They're going to take a quarterback. Baker and Sam Darnold are probably gone, but Corral, who was out for the year before the year even started, will then kind of have his rookie year next year with a quarterback that they take in the top 5. Like, there's a chance he never has a chance in Carolina, and then he kind of just goes through the cycle.
Yeah, it's tough, and he could you never know if he could. You may never know if he could be one of a legit starter. He may never get the opportunity. No, he's still very young. Hopefully he does. If he flashes in practice, I don't know.
Well, I think that's another reason back to why people are rooting for the Seahawks, because Geno Smith was in a Matt Corral situation
forever. Remember Geno was always out there for the coin toss and overtime, and he was always there. They thought he was the best at it, right? And Pete gave him that role.
Yeah, I think he is 7-0 or 8-0 in those situations or something.
It's like Josh Allen. Josh Allen was undefeated until the Chiefs playoff game last
Speaking of Josh Allen, what's the latest with him on his elbow?
Didn't practice yesterday.
So didn't practice Thursday. They're saying they're taking it day by day. Yeah. Is that right?
Hour by hour.
Hour by hour. We're in an hour to hour situation here to see how he progresses through the day. Okay, so he hasn't practiced up till yet. Today is Friday. He might practice a little bit today. I don't see any chance that he plays.
Why would he?
I wouldn't play him. You might win the game. Who's the backup again?
Case Keenum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Buffalo can absolutely still win this game with Case
Revenge
Keenum.
Game.
Case Keenum.
Unfortunately, Poyer's hurt. I know. Is he not going to play? Poyer's out, right?
I thought.
And then I think they have a D end who's out as well.
Yeah, Rousseau. There's also a video of Poyer walking, and his elbow looks so disgusting.
What is the injury? It looks nasty. It's like an extra elbow on top of an elbow.
Yeah, it looks like his bone just is sticking out the backside of his elbow. Like, it is actually disgusting.
It looks terrible.
I don't know if we have it or not, but no, they're playing the Vikings. Yeah, you can just roll here it is. Just roll Case Keenum out there. Minneapolis Miracle Revenge Game, dude.
You think Buffalo can find a way to run the ball? They can consistently run the ball. Case Keenum can sling it though too.
That's what's tough, is that Josh Allen is their running game. He does everything for their team. I forget what the stat is, but
their running backs had some runs against the Packers. I've never watched, but no, Josh Allen is though.
With that also, it helps having the threat of Josh Allen to run. It helps your under. It's just like Lamar Jackson. Hey, someone's got to account for this dude on the edge. There's always going to be multiple defenders with eyes on the quarterback.
Well, being Minnesota too.
Yeah, exactly. But also, they're in the NFC. If they lose this game, it's not the end of the world. Granted, seeding matters, and they want to get home field advantage and everything. But why would you, if if Josh Allen gets hurt, guess what? They're not going to win the Super Bowl. You know,
I doubt there was ever the plan to play Josh Allen this week. Josh Allen may be holding out hope and pushing him and saying, "Hey, I can do this. I can do this." And the coach is like, "Yeah, Josh, we're going to be smart."
Which makes sense. Like for him, why? Of course he wants to play
love
because
that he's fighting to play.
Well, and he's having an MVP season. You know, you miss a game like that greatly reduces the chances you're going to win MVP. But it just, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think there's any way you can put him out there.
They weren't the same last week when Milano was out either on defense.
True.
Oh, yeah. Is he still
full practice?
Full practice. Okay. Why does it say
Jermaine Edmonds DNP though? So I don't know if he played.
Oh, Vaughn had his normal vet rest. Why does the game status say unspecified for all of them?
Just because
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't come out.
So who do we think is actually? Do we know? Okay, I guess Tremaine Edmonds.
You
what
tell
is he?
us
If
guys don't practice on Thursday normally, do they
don't
play?
practice Wednesday, Thursday. You don't do something on Friday. You're not playing.
Yeah, it feels like just Edmonds, Allen, Poyer, and Rousseau seem to be the four that are up in the air. Kyrie.
What about the Vikings? Do the Vikings have any issues injury wise? Any new issues?
I do not know. I didn't think it was as big of a deal. Yeah, there it is.
Dantzler and
Tomlinson.
Oh, okay.
Just them two, but I mean, it feels like this is a game to Todd's point where it's like, hey, this is an NFC team. Who cares? Why? If he goes in and plays and gets hurt more, and then they have to go on that division, games to finish the season where it's like Jets, Pats, Dolphins. Like, there's no point to do that, and they might drop if they do lose this game and the Dolphins win. They won't be at the top of the division anymore. The Jets and the Pats are on a bye week, but that you're playing the Dolphins later in the season, and if you beat them then with healthy Josh Allen, then they'll probably end up winning the division.
Yeah, they have to know that. What are you saying, Ty?
It also seems like he's the kind of guy, like if he plays, like Josh Allen's not going to throw it 10 times because he's kind of hurt. Like if he's out there playing, like it's going to be full go. You know what I mean? They're not going to reserve. I mean, they're not going to limit what he does if he plays.
I just wonder what he feels like. If he feels like he can throw right now and be all right. I wonder how much pain.
But then
he's
Vaughn came on yesterday.
Same old dude.
Yeah, it feels like
that made me feel much better about it. He's like, same Josh as always. Like, we went to his house after the game, all that. I was like, okay, that does make me feel better that, hey, this isn't like this isn't the long term, like, terrible, he needs Tommy John.
Yeah, but to Ty's point, like, he's a tough son of a bitch. He's going to go out there and play. Like, at some point, you kind of have to you got to protect the player from himself, right? Like,
which they will.
You said that before. I forget about who it was or what situation it was. But yeah, sometimes you just got to tell the guy, like, hey, we love you. You go 100% no matter what. You're just a little banged up, and if someone were to hit you on the arm with a Vikings team that has Zadarius Smith and Daniil Hunter and guys who can get after the quarterback, like, do you really want to?
And all it would take is like somebody's like just a guy to brush his hand as he's throwing, could do it and just tear the whole thing straight away.
Or if he just tries to huck it, right? Like if he is
sit out for the next month, Josh. Let that thing rest.
It's week 10. Like what? Obviously, you want to go to the Super Bowl and you want to do all those things, but if you get hurt in week 10. Hey, guess what? The season's basically over if
you've never had an elbow sprain, I assume, but you've had other sprains. We've had sprains. They're normally like 3-4 weeks if you let them rest.
Depends what it. I mean, a sprain is a sprain. It's
like
not
I've had an AC joint where if you just it's like a month.
Yeah, Mac Jones had
AC joints. You don't miss any time with AC joints.
No, I'm not talking about missing time. I'm talking about
if you
wanted him to be fully healed.
Yeah, AC joint. I had the AC joint took probably 5-6 weeks until it didn't hurt like hell every time I touched anybody. Yeah. But I mean, you can't say that with I don't know what your elbow is compared to your ankle.
Well, it's quarterback
compared to that. Yeah, he's throwing the ball. Yeah, it's a different world. It's like if someone has a thumb or finger. It's going to affect him.
Throwing the ball and also running the ball like 18 times.
Yeah. He's the best player by far. Team is not good without him.
He should tell him, hey guys, I'll play the game. But I promise to throw 5 or 6 passes left-handed this week to take a little bit of pressure off this right elbow. Maybe I'll be all right. Ooh, okay. He's got a little brace. He looks like a coach.
That thing is awesome.
What if he played with the J.J. Watt brace on?
That would be awesome. The Dahn Joy of elbow braces that they wear.
Yeah.
That's what Ray Lewis wore in the Super Bowl, too. Right?
He torn bicep.
Yeah. So didn't Ray miss like the last 6-7 weeks of the season or the playoffs and then came back for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he had a torn bicep. No, he played during the playoffs. And the only reason I remember this so specifically is because Arthur Jones was on the sideline crying when the Ravens played the Patriots in the playoffs. And I think everybody in New England knew, like, oh, okay, this team is playing for something greater than a Super Bowl. Yeah, because it was Ray's last run. Everyone knew he was retiring. Joe Flacco was surgical in the playoffs.
The power went out at the Super Bowl, right? In the Superdome. Was that coming out of halftime?
Yeah, I believe so.
Look
yeah.
at that face mask and that elbow. Dang, that's a heck of a look.
You do
by the
not
way.
want to see that guy in the A gap.
Nope. Especially when he first got in the league and you were allowed to obliterate people coming across the middle. You see that face mask? Good luck.
Yeah.
You knock your head
The
clear
whole
off your body.
Giants D-line had that face mask on, too.
Oh, remember Chris Canty wore that?
yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Someone sent me a picture of Canty on. Is he on? Was it Get Up? Is he
Yeah.
on it?
Yeah.
And they said how giant he is. My one buddy, like, look how big Canty is. And I remember walking. I think I played the first Thursday night football game they did on NFL Network. If anyone knows when that happened, I believe 2007. Brett Favre actually got hurt in the game. We traveled to Dallas, played him on a Thursday night. They beat us. It might even been the T.O. popcorn game. I don't know if that was later, I think. But this was like 2007 probably. Favre got hurt. Aaron went in, played well.
And that's when Collinsworth had that quote of
Yeah,
like,
we got Aaron playing.
if Aaron Rodgers is playing meaningful snaps, the Packers are in trouble.
Yeah. And it was like that was kind of when everyone realized, oh, okay, this guy can do it.
Yeah,
and Brett had an elbow injury, actually. That made me think of that. Brett had an elbow injury because I remember him coming to practice the next week. I think it was the first time I saw him miss a practice, and he had like a little compression sleeve on his elbow, and then he played the next game.
Yeah,
Didn't miss any time. But.
How did your call with him today go? I know you guys talked.
My call with who?
Brett.
With Mr. Favre? Oh, I didn't
Call
know.
him every Friday morning.
Yeah.
On your
I had
way
not
up.
spoken on
Far
the phone with
Fridays.
Brett.
What do you talk? Okay.
Far Fridays? Well, I mean, if I did, we should probably record that and make it some content, right? If
Well,
I
yeah,
was doing that.
he would, but then you'd spill all those secrets about how he screwed over all those poor people.
I have
in
not
Mississippi.
talked to Brett on the phone. I don't know if I've ever talked to Brett on the phone.
Like in a couple months, will you when you get a call that says, "Will you accept this call from Mississippi State Penitentiary?" Will you answer? Or?
AJ, it's Brett.
Did you guys do that with collect calls like when we were younger? It had to,
Mom, come pick me up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mom at the front door, come here. And then they have to decline the calls. And then if for some reason I ever like accepted a call, my parents would basically beat me and lock me in the dungeon.
You guys are going to get
12
AJ
cents.
subpoenaed.
What?
You guys are going to get AJ subpoenaed right now.
Well, he did it to himself. He was the one that said he comforted him.
Oh,
on Friday.
come on.
No. I would never. I don't think I've ever spoken with Brett on the phone.
Well, yeah, because you didn't want it wiretapped.
They should have used the right apps, right? If you're texting people. Can you or
What's
do any
that?
of them
I don't know.
vanish?
You tell us.
No, I don't. I wonder this because I see a lot of high-profile people getting caught with text and stuff. Like, what are you guys doing?
Doesn't Cubes have an app like that where
WhatsApp?
Cubes?
Is that Cubes? Is that?
No, he has like another vanishing email text app though. He talks
like
about.
But I thought you just used like a military sat phone every time you talk to Brett. You just have that thing in your.
You guys called me out back earlier, pulling up the huge antenna.
That's
beep,
right.
beep, beep, beep. Yeah, it was like a big dialing up a nuclear bomb. Nope, I don't know. Oh, yeah, Cyberdust. Is that still going? I heard him talk about that a while back. Cubes is like changing the world of prescription meds.
Yes.
I've read a few times. Is that seems like a really good thing he's doing, right?
Like they're costing like a fraction of what they're.
How's he doing it?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't read into it, but I know.
Silk Road.
When I looked into it, the only thing you pay for is like the shipping. Is like the only thing that's above. The
So
market
whatever
price.
his company does, he gets the medication for whatever they normally do. He just doesn't mark it up 1,000,000,000% like everyone else.
Yeah.
So is this a non-profit situation he's got going on, or he's just trying to help
don't
people
know
out?
enough.
You've watched Shark Tank. You know there
Yeah.
ain't no such thing
I
as
know.
non-profit when it comes to the shacks.
I know some of the most profitable things are non-profits too. I've seen people running a lot of non-profits, raking in a lot of money flying private. That happens as well.
Right back to your best friend.
I was gonna say Favre's
Who?
Foundation, nonprofit.
So is his foundation caught up in everything like this?
Oh yeah.
Anything that has his hands on it is
like
caught
just
up in it.
receiving money.
Yep.
Okay, let's say you
I
guys.
believe his foundation. One of the things in the article is that his foundation donated millions of dollars to the Southern Miss volleyball, program or whatever, and like for what his foundation's actually supposed to be doing, which is I think like breast cancer awareness and stuff like that. Like they cut a check for $10,000 or something like
to
that.
the volleyball community. Or
No,
facility?
the volleyball was getting like $1 million, and then like
Oh.
for like what his foundation was actually supposed to be doing, they were cutting checks for like $10,000.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. So those websites, you can check what those big charities, how much actually goes towards the charity, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's still all kind of foolery going around. We need Diggs in there to audit them. Wasn't that your old life, Diggs? Number cruncher?
I was a accounting major for a few years, but I switched. So
What'd you switch to?
fucking being sales.
What?
No,
Business.
marketing and finance.
Was it good? Was that like because of Gary Vee or why? What was the reasoning?
No, I just had one accounting class. I can't remember which accounting it was. Forensic, I don't know, but it was terrible. And I said I can't do this anymore. So I said, give me finance and marketing.
And Ty, you majored in what, fly fishing?
If it would have been offered, I would have.
You were on a
Big
fishing
Ten
team?
angler.
Big Ten angler.
Was that your major, Big Ten angler?
I don't know.
So
Was
was
your
not-
major football, asshole?
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you wanted to be a cop, right?
Yeah, I did. Criminology was my
Yeah.
major, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Shocker.
What was your major for real? Pre-med?
No, it was I was a double major in communications and film and TV.
Oh, that's why you're such a great film critic.
I guess.
Kyle tell us it needs more plot development. It needs more character building. Like
I don't
you're
know
big
if
into
I've
all
ever,
that stuff,
I don't
right?
know if I've ever said that.
Maybe
but-
hour 3 we'll get into
Yeah,
the
we'll
films.
see.
Maybe some. My kids watched Home Alone last night. I was like, this is a great movie.
Original?
Which one?
Original?
Such a good- original.
Or Lost?
Tonight is going to be 2 when I get back.
Nice.
Lost
Two's
is
better.
I mean, they're
Sure.
both great.
Is 2
Lost in New York.
2 is suck brick, kid.
Yeah.
nice? 2 is oh yeah, he builds
Two
nice.
is
Your
awesome.
favorite actor's in it?
Which one?
Donald Trump.
Trump's in 2?
Yeah.
Is this the Game Boy one or the
Yeah, the talk back.
talk
yep.
back thing? Trump's in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sees him in the.
And the Plaza
Actually-
Hotel in the lobby.
Actually, now I think Favre's in that one too. When he's walking down the New York streets,
Yeah,
and he just
puts his
fucking-
hand in the Salvation Army thing and then just grabs all the loose change.
I didn't see that, but you know what? In light of what's been going on recently, that may take on a different meaning.
That was taken from the Shooter McGavin Twitter account. I will
Was
fucking
it?
divulge that information.
Yeah. He's part of the Sticky Bang.
Favre's in
Something about
Something
Mary.
about Mary.
He's great.
Yep. He
He's
is.
great. in that movie.
Unbelievable.
Such
So
a good
Ben-
actor. Remember at the end when he's there? He looks he looks so tiny compared to Ben Stiller. No, the best is he's on camera and you know I love you, Murray. He's like on football or something. He is so big.
Wearing his jersey,
His
I think.
big old Brett Favre hands and forearms like he's been baling hay for the last 30 years. Like that's what I love that scene. And it's a great movie as well. I mean,
Well
come
said.
on.
I mean, Ben freaking Stiller. Come on. Night at the Museum. Yeah.
Come on.
Come
Ben
on.
freaking Stiller, why is
Yeah.
that? Because Jack Easterby?
No.
You think Night at the Museum is his best movie?
Yeah.
One of
come
his
on.
best.
Heavyweights is his
There's 2 of them. I think Night at the Museum
Dodgeball.
2.
Heavyweights.
No,
is his best
Heavyweights
movie.
is-
Dodgeball.
I mean, Ben Stiller
Long
makes
Came
it.
Polly.
He wrote
Bingo.
he directed the Dana Mora prison show.
Who?
Severance.
No, where the prison escape. It was a real thing. It happened somewhere like
Oh,
upstate
Prison
New York.
Prison Break.
Oh yeah,
No, that was a different
Escape
one.
from Dana Mora or
and
whatever.
he was
yeah.
like they filmed like they did a whole series on I believe on HBO or
It was a
Showtime.
tower heist.
No, he'd done that
He
one
was in
maybe
Tower
as
Heist.
well. This one's a little bit more dark and a bit more. He's not actually in it. I think he
Serious.
only directs it.
He made Severance, you know.
yeah, he's the executive
Oh
producer.
yeah, he is. Him
Yeah.
and then Adam Scott. Is Adam Scott a producer with him or writer at all? He's a great actor.
I'm
either
not
way.
sure. Yeah, he's the lead, obviously. I don't know.
It
if
sounded
he was-
awful to shoot. I listened to Ben Stiller talk about it with somebody on a podcast, I believe, and he was saying how like maybe it was the other guy, maybe it was Adam Scott. They built the set like in the basement of somewhere, and they filmed it during COVID. They're like, it really was pretty isolated,
Yeah.
like down there. It looked because they had to do all those long walks where they got to take 50 turns. They're like, we really had to kind of build this place.
Yeah, no,
It'd be
they're
miserable.
filming the second season now. Ben Stiller's an absolute dog.
Do you like that show?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I know
right
you
up
love
there.
it. Some people just think it's way too slow.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to kind of dive into the plot of the whole thing, but as far as Ben Stiller's career work, it's right up there with The Secret Life of Walter.
Excuse me.
I love Ben Stiller.
What's your favorite one, Evie?
Well, Dodgeball, of course, Heavyweights, of course. But I know you guys are joking about that movie in a corny way. I
that
love
was a good
Secret
pull.
Life of Walter
That was a
Mitty.
good pull.
It's a
I don't know if I
good
saw that
movie.
one. What's that?
watch
Is that like a Benjamin Button? Similar story?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out. I thought there's only one Benjamin Button movie.
Tough. Which movie's tough?
Walter Mitty.
Wait, you know what else? Ben Stiller's great in Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
Steve.
Hey, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers are
obviously,
great movies.
He's had a lot of
Fun
great
fact:
hits.
that's my favorite comedy of all time.
Which one?
Tropic Thunder.
Is it?
Is
Who's
he
your
in
favorite
Dinner
actor?
for Schmucks?
In that? Who's your favorite guy? There's so many characters.
Sergeant Lincoln Osiris.
Remember? Yeah. I mean, Jack Black is in that as well. There's a lot of good characters. Matt McConaughey's his agent.
Yep. Tom
And then
Cruise.
Tom Cruise is dancing in a fat suit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or in a fat fingered suit.
We
I
do
mean,
not negotiate with terrorists.
when Sergeant Lincoln Osiris yells at Jack Black for fucking trying to eat the water buffalo, fucking underrated. There's so many good scenes, but that's an underrated one.
Yeah, Nick Nolte obviously should probably won an Oscar
Right.
for it.
He was the
Four
explosive.
leave Tayback.
Oh, you're right.
He wrote the book.
I have to go
McBride.
back and watch
Okay,
that movie
McBride.
again. I haven't seen it in a while. I got a quick question here, guys. At 105, we're supposed to have Jordan Spieth. Is that that's supposed to be a surprise? Or are we supposed to announce it?
Well, I mean,
Either way, we
that's
did
not
it.
a
I
question.
just did it. I know. That's why I asked it publicly here because I can put it on you. If it's a surprise, I'll put it on you guys.
I don't know.
Either way, 105. Stick around, Jordan Spieth. Well, just a quick thing. Are we allowed to say why he's coming on?
I don't know.
AJ, just shut your fucking mouth.
What a tease! What a tease!
How
Right
about
there.
that? How about Mike Florio getting Mike Zimmer
Oh,
fired? huh?
stop moving on like like I gave someone the nuclear
We're
codes.
saving-
It's
we're
not a
saving
big
that.
deal. Pat will be here a little after 1. We're gonna. Yeah, I do actually want to get to that Mike Florio situation in a second, con man. But Jordan Spieth, unbelievable golfer,
Yeah.
Texas guy, will be on. All All right?
Yeah.
He'll be on at 105.
Did you watch Hard Knocks yet?
When you have a guest on a program, you're supposed to say when they're coming on, right, Con?
Did you watch Hard Knocks yet?
With the Cardinals? Yeah. No, but I've seen the little clips with old D-Hop and Kyler.
I need you to watch it and let me know.
AJ Green in the back, like, jeez.
I saw that part. What do you need me to watch, Zeke?
So I think they made Cliff look like a fucking asshole.
Why?
Me watching it, I thought he was.
Wait, you mean like a doofus or like?
No, like he just doesn't want to be there, sad the whole time, like just depressed.
Defeated.
Yes,
Really?
yeah. Like they showed his place, and he was like, I'm a big open concept. He had nothing in his house.
Really?
Absolutely nothing.
I think Cliff is like, even though he seemed like he's like he can dance and he's handsome, he's like all football all the time. I think Cliff is one of those football grinders that may look like he has a lot of other stuff. I don't think he does. I think he like it's live or die for him.
Well, based on what Joe Thomas said, it doesn't sound like head coaches are at their house at any point during the week anyway, so it makes sense. But that's also a terrible position that he's in. Like they had to pay the.
What did Joe Thomas say exactly?
He basically said that he lived next door to Rob Chudzinski when he was the head coach of the Browns. Yeah, and he said he saw his kids one day a week, and it was basically to pick them up from school, take them, get some ice cream, drop their asses off, and he's right back in the office.
His kids probably love him. Hey, anytime we see this guy, he gives us ice cream. Oh, that's your dad. What? I don't know.
Why was he telling that story? Was it?
Yeah,
well,
why did he tell that
basically
story?
because he was saying Jeff Saturday has no idea what he's in store for. He has
that's
idea.
why he said that.
Joe Thomas said that.
What else?
Yes.
What else did Joe Thomas say?
What did he say about the whole?
What was the other part of that?
Oh, he did. What did he did say something about
Did he
it?
say he should have got the job?
No, he said it was the most egregious thing he's ever seen in the NFL.
The fact that Jeff Saturday was hired, is that right, Nick? That's what he said?
Mm-hmm. The most egregious thing he can remember happening in
What
the NFL.
organization does he always represent?
I think it's the Cleveland Browns. Yeah.
Oh, they.
I mean, that's the tough thing, Joe. I don't know if he thought that one through.
I don't
It
think
could
he
be
did.
egregious. It could be egregious that they hired Jeff. But there's a lot of things that have gone on in the NFL that continue to go on, that always will go on, that are bad things. That's not good for anybody.
Not in his mind.
But I mean, I don't know
There
if
are
it's
25 situations I can think of.
That's why it's like nothing's. You can't just throw concrete like this is the worst ever. It's like when someone tells you, "Hey, okay, funniest story ever. Saddle up." Nope, I'm gonna leave the room, buddy, because it's gonna be way too long, and I promise you, it cannot live up to that. When you're telling me it's a fun, tell me, hey, I got the worst story of all time, and then I might stick around.
Yeah,
maybe. Or
Expectations.
just tell me a story.
Expectations.
Just tell me a story. Don't just tell me. Don't set it up, right?
So I never tell stories.
I also didn't understand that because you're setting that all up. It's like, well, maybe that wasn't the right move for Chud because he got fucking shit canned after 1 year.
Point.
So it's like, hey, guess what? Maybe you didn't need to be, spending every waking hour.
There's more ways to do it. There's other ways to go about it.
Yeah, spend more time with your kids. Okay.
Steve Spurrier said that. Steve Spurrier is he's the old ball coach, the guy that's known to enjoy himself. He seems to be having fun, plays golf, whatever. He said he'd be home for dinner every night. I got
Get
to
your
play,
work done.
Yeah, I got to play with him in Tahoe multiple times, and I remember asking him, like, man, coach, like, how do you do it? Like, every other coach thinks they have to stay there 20 hours a day, and he's like, coaches ask me that. I look over and I say, hey, you see them woods? Them woods are full of fired football coaches. We're all going to be there someday. I might as well. I think he said, like, I'm going to enjoy it while I'm here or something. Like, he was saying, you can do whatever you want, but hey, I'm going to do it my way, and my assistants, I'm going to give them freedom, I think, too, to kind of do their thing.
Well, and you also don't need to spend as much time in the office when you got fucking Danny Warfel slinging the pill for you and winning Heisman trophies.
Good point. Same, yeah. Mac Jones as well. You think Bill's spending a little more time at home right now?
Bill doesn't have a home. His home is Gillette.
But Bill, you know what's cool though? Bill has the boat, right?
Yeah,
he has a nice boat. Is
8 rings.
Where is it? Nantucket?
Yep. He's got a place in Nantucket.
Okay. Bill I watched a thing on Bill during his bye week years ago, and he was out there playing golf with Linda on his bye week. I think he went to Nantucket during this thing. So, like, Bill, I like that he actually leaves and he has activities. Like, he has hobbies, obviously.
Yeah, he does stuff.
Goes to the Derby, goes to some horse races.
I don't know how often he goes to the Derby because it's tough because he also is.
It's not Don't Hate, is it?
Yeah, no, it's Photoshop. He also is the GM. So, like, you would think, okay, yeah, after the season, he's, coaching duties are over. But it feels like GM's the most important time for some of their entire year.
They're never working.
Is in March. Yeah, exactly. Like,
I mean, they're never not working.
They're never
That's what
not
I mean,
working. Yeah, I know what you meant. But that's why for Bill, sure, he goes and he takes a week or two. But I don't think he does anything really during the bye. But he'll take 2 or 3 weeks right after the season to kind of relax. And then
I bet
he's
even
right
that
back
is
to
not
it.
full. I bet he is every day he's talking to coaches, he's talking to people, he's looking things, he's watching film. He's one of those guys.
I mean, the past, I don't know, 5-6 years, every year some big part of the coaching staff leaves for another job. Like, he has to continue to get new guys in. Now, granted, this year nobody from the staff might get hired elsewhere, which is nice, but he does have to also do all that bullshit. And, yeah, him and Mac were at the facility all during the entire offseason together.
That's right. And look how it's turned out swimmingly, right? It's going perfect
swimmingly
so far.
Who would have known drafting a quarterback in the 4th round?
Real quick, while you were talking, Joe Thomas said that Jeff Saturday has no idea what he's getting into.
Yeah, kind of.
Jeff Saturday played for 14 years in the NFL.
Yeah, but I think
he knows the coaching schedule. He knows like that, though. Like, he understands that part of it. It's not going to be a shock to a system.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't say it, so I understand, and I'm not really going to go to bat for what Joe Thomas said, but he basically said, like, hey, this is why I don't want to get into coaching, because the sheer amount of time it requires to be a head coach in the NFL, like, unless you have been a coach before or you are a coach, you have no idea, you know, how much time it actually requires. And that's what Joe Thomas said, is like, I want to have a life outside of football. I want to see my kids. And these coaches, that's why all their friends are other coaches, and they don't really have hobbies outside of football because of the time requirement that you have to put in to actually be able to win.
Yeah, and there's plenty of coaches that can do it, that can balance it and be a dad, be a husband, and still like their kids know who they are. There's plenty of really, really good ones I know out there I've seen that can do it. It's just, that's the thing though. Like Jim Irsay was talking about, like the fear. Coaches get fear in them where it's like, hey, I gotta hold on to this thing tight. I don't want to be going back to the college game. I don't want to be coaching some D2 team in Missouri next year.
If you have young kids, I think I understand. But if your kids are in like high school or even like middle school, like I think you
can bring them along a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
and they understand. And I mean, how many times, like, if your dad is a head coach in the NFL, like, there's a good chance you're going to get into coaching. It's like just as simple as that, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you have young kids and you want to watch them grow up and spend time around them, like, that makes a little bit more sense. But if you have, like, Jeff Saturday, I think he only has one kid that's still at home living with him. Like, that kid's old enough to understand how big of an opportunity this is. And, like, so I don't think you can really use that as an excuse.
No, not right now. I mean, yeah, the whole thing is it's a whole polarizing situation. People feel very strong, I feel like, with the Jeff Saturday hiring. But with that being said, we're going to get to a quick 5-minute break, guys, right? Because we're going to have Pat coming up here at the top of the hour. Surprise guest Jordan Spieth, not so surprised anymore, will be on with us for a little bit with Pat and I, and then Pat and I will go through all of our picks eventually for the upcoming games. Diggs has a lot of great stuff, I know, because he kept sliding me notes before the show of all these different things he was going to get to.
If there was a surprise birthday party, would you go up to that person who the party was for and say, hey, are we having a surprise birthday party for you later?
Maybe what?
Because that's exactly what you did with the guest.
How did I do that?
Because hey, I got a question for you guys. Do we have a surprise guest, Jordan Spieth, on in the second hour?
I will say, one time I had to tell my uncle because he had a heart condition. And I did not want
I didn't want him to die.
Yeah.
So
safety first.
You had to warn him. So then if he dies, it was when you told him, hey, you're having a surprise party. He got so pissed he has a heart attack right there instead of dying in front of everybody else. That's nice of you, Z.
Thank you, yeah.
Nice you could hold his hand.
Great
Yeah,
nephew.
that was huge.
Thank you.
No, Jordan Spieth is not a surprise anymore.
You killed the surprise.
It was a surprise. It wasn't, because it's not supposed to be a surprise. You don't surprise guests on live shows.
Oh, we have plenty of time.
Yeah, we have multiple times.
Sometimes, maybe.
No, not sometimes.
Not today, guys. But you know what?
Yesterday
hey, guys,
we had a fucking surprise
Con,
guest.
love talking to you, Con. Cannot wait. Take 5. We'll see you in a little bit.
Take 5.
Dear Coach Freeman, sing it with me, baby. This is how we do it, la 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 la. Coach Freeman, I know I've been hard on you, but like Montel Jordan says in that great song, this is how we do it, baby. That's Notre Dame football. That's what it's all about. If you notice, our next day aired a Clemson helmet to my office here because I've been pissing and pooping in that thing all weekend, using it as my own personal toilet. Just like you guys use the Clemson Tigers as your own personal toilet on Saturday night. Everybody's saying, Hey, Coach Sweeting, he's the best, he's the greatest, he's the best coach of all, he's the best recruiter. Well, guess what you did? You took that boy, put him over your lap, and you fucking spanked his ass. Not only that, you take that DJ ooey ugly lay, and you made him one sad. That's Notre Dame football. Listen, we've had a tough season, okay? There's no two ways about it. And you knew there would be scrutiny. You knew old Coach Lou would be coming after you if you lose games to teams like Marshall and Stanford. But what's the best way to drown that out? By beating the shit out of Clemson and dashing their college football playoff hopes. And speaking of the college football playoff, yeah, we might not be going this year. We don't have a good enough record. You know that. I know that. Everyone who prays the touchdown Jesus knows that. But when they move to 12 teams and you play like you did yesterday, oh boy, are them fighting Irish gonna be sitting pretty, baby. I'm a God-fearing man, everyone knows that, just like you are. And I don't have many vices. But boy, have I been enjoying a nice cigar and a nice ride on route ever since we won, baby. You did this for me, Coach. This is what you did. You should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of those boys. And with everybody talking about conference realignment, I have a simple request, or maybe just something to ponder. We're already in the ACC in basketball. Maybe consider joining the ACC for football, too. I know we're independent. I know we get a lot of money from being independent. But you fucking own everybody in the ACC. Clemson, Florida State, NC State, North Carolina. Shit, it doesn't matter who you put in front of us, okay? If you go to the ACC, mark my words, you're going to be going to the college football playoff every single year. Keep it up, Coach. I love you. I'm proud of you. And let's get this going, okay? What do you think? What I saw on Saturday, that's how a Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team is supposed to play. You were tough, you were intelligent, you were smart, you were all the things you need to do to win. And because you won, you let good old Coach Lou enjoy a nice Cohiba. And I got this drink in my cup. And there's nothing better than that, baby. Go Fighting Irish. Go get them next week. Signed, Coach Lou Holtz.
Hey,
What?
let's go!
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Welcome back. Friday, November 11th. Feel Good Friday. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat as I do on Fridays during the season. He's down in Austin, Texas.
Football!
Oh, boy. It's going to be a good one, boys. Good timing. Tone Diggs, Todd Schmidt, Boston Connor, all the boys in the back. I see Evie, I see Zito, I see Nick Moraldo just talking to Mitt earlier. I see Gertie back there. Bill is back there in his cave grinding away. Bill, keep up the good work. Who knows what our fantasy team is doing. But welcome, everybody. Without saying anything else, we're not going to beat around the bush, as we don't. We never do on Fridays. Let's bring in Mr. Pat McAfee from Austin, Texas. What's up, Pat?
Boys! Boys, can you hear me out there? Or what?
Yeah.
Do I sound okay?
Great. Yeah, you're good.
You cold?
So there's quite a cold front coming through here, AJ, and I'll tell you what, seems like there's going to be some fucking storms down here in Texas. I was talking to my man Marvin. Marvin's about a 6'2", 310 to 320 pound man operating security this weekend from South Bend, Indiana, originally big wrestling fan down here for the weekend to help how he lives down here, but he just moved down here working for College Game Day Security. And I said, I know you're new to Texas, but is the type of rain that's supposed to come today normal? And he said, hail and tornado? No, this is not normal. So it's like a once-in-a-generation storm that's potentially going to pop off right behind me here at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, the site of tomorrow's massive Texas and TCU matchup. It's a little chilly, though. I'm going to say it is a little breezy. It is a little breezy. It's a little chilly. I did not expect it. Came down to Texas, assumed it to be hot as balls. That is not the case. But it's an honor to be here, AJ, and you looked fantastic in that opening. You hit that thing perfectly, the timing. Oh, it's Friday, and then drop football, and then let's not beat around the bush. You're unbelievable. AJ.
Yeah. Hey, that looks like, honestly, that kind of looks like a green screen. It looks so perfect behind you. It doesn't even look real. I don't know what it looks like in person, but it looks awesome from here. Jeez,
whoa! It does look like
it looks fake.
Yeah, it does.
Is that from? They said that about
it looks awesome.
Tom Hanks at one point. They thought he was doing a green screen thing.
Yeah,
hopefully, it's not one of those situations.
Well, I am not. What you're talking about with Tom Hanks, I think, has a lot more than just a green screen, is what you're referring to when he got a promo in front of a pretty basic back wall. The internet, certainly, a portion of the internet, certainly went on a little bit of a buzz to talk about it. I'm not in that status of life yet where people are making that up, which, maybe one day. Enough. But dude, I don't know if you see.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah. It's fucking windy down there, huh?
Where's Bill Paxton? Hey, get the bus out. Go put a Darla up and try to get some readings.
You better not bug that thing. You're going to fly away.
Hold on, boys.
Kyle.
Where's Dorothy? Get her up there. Let's read some of those wind readings.
Another Kyle.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Is that Michael Jackson Thriller? Is that R. Kelly?
Whoa.
Pat, is that weather going to be there tomorrow for the game or just today?
I believe just today. Okay. I don't know what's supposed to happen for tomorrow, but I see you scouting some unders. Yep. I see that's what you're probably doing, scouting some unders. But yeah, it is very breezy out here. I'm appreciative of the crew. You know, the dudes that set up the light, the audio, the camera, and everything. Same two guys all around the country, fucking great at what they do. They have things to weigh down the lights here. They just went and grabbed 2 30-packs of water to keep these things weighed down a little bit more. Jeez. We're in the middle of a storm down here in Austin, Texas. I don't know what Elon Musk has got going on down here. I don't know what Joe Rogan's got going on down here. But whatever the case, the winds are coming from the due east right into the fucking west, and we're eating it all around here. And it has subsided. It feels like we're back in good weather. Hey, we're back. It is right out. It is gusty a little bit, AJ, but this has been a much more entertaining morning than that game last night. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, what'd you think?
We were all wrong.
We should have known, I guess. But how do you know? Like, we didn't know that Atlanta's not going to do anything offensively, not going to be able to run the ball, and Carolina was going to pound the ball on these dudes. And it's just overall, I mean, not a super fun game to watch, I would guess, but still, like, I thought Atlanta would do
competitive.
More.
Yeah, and the weather was terrible. I think everything, the read we had on the weather was accurate. You know, it did seem to be a bit slick, and it's a turf field. They talked about, Andrew Whitworth talked about that in the pregame. He said, it used to be a grass field, now it's a turf field, so maybe that'll handle it a little bit better. I don't think that guy handled it that well. I was an advocate for Marcus Mariota. There was a couple runs last night. Now that one can't have it. Carson Wentz. Okay,
why?
Marcus Mariota, Carl Wentz here can't be happening. Now, obviously, he was down. They didn't call it, but the idea that you can just say "fuck it" to the football. Something we can't be having an NFL quarterback too. There was a couple runs though, I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, AJ, where Mariota looked fast, looked like he was going to break it, and then he would get tripped up. And it's like, in years past, has he not done that? And are other quarterbacks skirting through those? Because there's a couple times where it looked like he got tripped up, where other guys maybe don't, and he would have been out for like 15, 20 with how fast it looked. But Panthers made all the plays. Congrats to them, and congrats to P.J. Walker continuing to lead that squad amidst all of the question marks of what the future looks like.
Yeah, I think early on, too, there was a few plays from Cordero Patterson, who he was like,
what happened to him?
He was like a shoestring away from breaking a couple long runs. I feel like that could have kind of changed the whole momentum of the game.
What the hell happened to him? And Foreman scores for the Connor boost. That baby Foreman.
Yeah.
We appreciate that. Then there's like 7 minutes left or whatever, and we appreciate Foreman getting in there at the end of the third, giving us hope, so we have to kind of stay awake for the rest of the fucking game. That's kind of what happened. But what happened to Patterson? He was
got dominated up front. They feel like they didn't. Artie Smith say after the game, we got beat up front, like both front, offense, defense.
Yeah, but he wasn't even on the field.
Yeah, he didn't get touched.
Is he hurt? Is he banged up? Did something happen? Do we know?
He definitely isn't banged up because he was returning kicks, and he had.
There's no way they're pissed at him. They're not pissed at him.
No, they had him lined up at slot, dude. They had him lined up at slot a bunch of times whenever they're running the other guys. And I know Chuck Pagano thing was like a four-headed monster down there in Atlanta. Mariota, Patterson, Alier, whatever the other guy is. But like Cordell Patterson was lined up at slot and they were running the ball. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. This guy, isn't he the guy? Like, what are we even doing? I wonder. He won the scepter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this guy doesn't get the ball. That was mind-boggling, Connor. I assume you were thinking the same thing, the man whose face was attached to that boost last night. That was frustrating. Like, what is Artie doing? What's Artie's deal, you think?
Yeah, I was absolutely livid. It's not as if they were lining him up in the slot and then, like, having him run a slant or getting a matchup and feeding him the ball. Yeah, like, he was just out there to basically block during those. And I'm not sure if you saw, but I believe when it was 13-3, towards the end of the third quarter, maybe halfway through, Cordell Patterson was actually wide open coming out of the backfield on the 10-yard line. Would have been a walk-in touchdown for him. Instead, Mariota sails it, overhead outside the back of the end zone. Next play, Drake London touchdown. So it was there. I am bummed the fact that Artie Smith decided, hey, since you had 2 touchdowns last week, Cordero, we're just not going to give you the fucking ball. So that was that?
Why
makes
did
no
he
sense.
do that? I don't understand why he didn't. I thought maybe you guys had heard something that I hadn't heard too. Like maybe some news came out after the game on what Artie had to say there. But that was a mind fuck for me. Like why? Because he clearly wasn't hurt.
No,
because you're talking about it. You're talking about him not doing anything on the slots but blocking. There's a couple times where he didn't block, where the whole pile almost ended up under his feet, and like he almost got hurt again. I'm like, why is that guy? He's the guy. What do we?
They go through him.
Nonetheless,
it seems
congrats to the Panthers.
We went for the Panthers. Horseshit, but
I mean, whatever Panther, like, what do Panthers fans think? Like, what do they care about this year? Are they just saying, hey, we want a high draft pick? What are they doing?
Yeah, I would assume they do not want to be winning these games. Maybe not.
Atlanta wins. Hey, Atlanta wins their number 1 in the NFC South last night.
Yep.
Man.
Atlanta loses to Carolina. Carolina's gotten some wins now. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. They don't have Robbie Anderson. They don't have, like, their fans have to be so confused. Like, if we keep a couple playmakers, are we in more games? You know what I mean? Like, it's
starting to rain there, Pat?
Yeah, it's starting to come down a little bit. Tell you what, the face just got hit with a ball, raindrop right.
You got a roof? You got a roof above you, or what? What do you have?
Yeah, right above me, there's a roof for sure. But I'll tell you what, there isn't one there.
You can see it on the glass right behind.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Have you spotted McConaughey yet?
All right. Maybe his ass will get blown in here by this wind. If we see McConaughey flying through the sky, somebody give me a heads up for the fucking dude flying around. It's starting to rain. They're talking about
shit. Oh my god. If you do see McConaughey, make sure you ask him if you can get in on the Washington Commanders bidding group.
It's still windy. Still pretty breezy around here. I believe. No. We were maybe supposed to have somebody on like 5 minutes ago, but
you don't have to.
I don't know if that's.
Yeah, AJ blew it.
No,
I don't know if you heard.
No,
AJ.
it's actually me. I don't know. Zito would have to give me a heads up. Zito, do you have a microphone, Zito?
Yes, sir.
No. Not blowing if he's on or not. AJ already spoiled that he was coming on.
Yeah.
I didn't spoil it.
What?
I asked the boys. I said, I didn't say any reason what he might be promoting or whatever. I said, hey, guys, is it a secret that Jordan Spieth is supposed to come on at 105?
You said that live on air?
Live on air.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And he
That's that's very much an off-air conversation. I mean, I feel like you had enough. Didn't you? Don't you think you had enough time?
Yeah, I did. That's why I was reading Con's sheet, and it didn't say surprise guest on there, so I thought I'd ask him on the air.
We had a conversation about it before.
People like the behind-the-scenes stuff.
AJ also said we never have.
Well.
You said we never have surprise guests. I said we had Michael Cole yesterday as a surprise.
Yeah. Okay.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
Surprise
guest.
guest.
Yeah, I got a couple other surprise guests here. But I won't. Do you want me to mention them, or should I leave them out? That I was going to ask you about.
No, I would like to hear who you.
Okay.
I would like to hear who you.
I don't know if this is true, but Zeke said Barack Obama. I don't think that's happening.
Don't sleep on Barry O.
All right, we're probably
No,
not.
I think we can for him coming on this show. I think he is pretty.
Well, you're right,
squeezed out on it.
He was great on
Maybe
many.
there's a little bit more to the.
Whoa.
Trying to get as much as we can. No, Zeke.
Hey, to hell with that guy. Not Barry O. Sorry, that was a text to Zito. Zito sent me a text. I was talking back to Zito like this.
Somebody
Nothing but respect for any president of the United States.
Don't worry about it, Pat. I love you too, Pat.
I was answering a text message.
What was that, Barry?
Don't worry about it, Pat. I understand.
All right, that's a good impersonation.
Feels so much better. So much better now.
Anyways, that's probably not going to happen, I guess. I would assume in this case. That dude's tough to get a hold of, isn't he?
Everybody's busy.
I might ask him.
People are busy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are definitely busy. But
how sweet
what
would
are
it
the
be?
people doing on the field?
Probably trying to.
That's the players. Hey, come on, boys. Let's get to safety. Come on, boys.
What are they doing? Just stretching the legs?
Yeah, just getting loose.
Some big fuck just drugged by. I think that guy's an old lineman. Gotta be. What's up, bub? Hey, good work. Good dieting.
Wow.
Anyways, we should get through our picks so I can get out of here. It feels like a storm is.
Yeah, you might get struck by lightning, man. Hopefully you're protected a little bit from the elements.
I'm not.
Put a tarp on that
honestly,
field, too, right? They're going to get a tarp on there eventually, I bet.
I think it's turf.
Turf.
Oh, that's
It's
turf.
turf.
Jeez.
It's turf field.
I
But
should know that,
also,
yeah.
I think the sun is supposed to come out, so maybe that'll dry it out there. Carolina's turf, I think, handled the rain well yesterday. Hurricane Nicole being a little bit of a bitch going through, Charlotte last night. Got a little breezy, but the turf handled it well. The boys that have set this whole thing up, short sleeves. They got to be chilly. It's a cold front coming through. And it's cold, normally hot. I'm no Joe DiNardo, obviously. I wish I was, though.
Everybody does.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Every Doppler person obviously wishes they were Joe DiNardo. They never will be. Sorry about it.
Sorry about it.
Joe created the Doppler, actually.
Did he?
But cold air coming in. Rest in peace, Joe.
Miss you, Joe.
Love you, Joe.
Love
Wouldn't
you,
be a
Joe.
show without Joe's memorial pick.
Rest in peace, Joe.
in
I'm not
peace.
Joe DiNardo, obviously. But I think when cold air's coming and normally hot air is there, I haven't done much science or Dopplering. I think that is potentially a setup for something, right?
Oh, yeah, bad
maybe
news.
waxing on, waxing off.
That
It's
is-
a little breezy.
You got to get an
That is textbook tornado weather. That's
Especially if you
tornado
catch-
making.
If you catch an updraft too.
I've got a lot of updrafts. I farted earlier and I tasted it.
How'd it taste?
Quest Reese's peanut butter cup. That thing's really. Those things have been running through me a little bit these days. I might have to back off the consumption. I've been eating 8 of those a day.
It's all right.
So
Tastes
I gotta back
great.
off that. It does.
Twice.
Hey, we should do our picks though, because I'm probably going to lose power. I
Pop
think. Like,
this up,
it's
guys.
getting-
Let's pop them up. Pick. I can run through it. So we both lost last night, obviously. I mean, come on now. These games are impossible.
We'll just count it. It doesn't count as a game. Doesn't count as a game
Yep.
this week. We're 0-0 going
Yeah,
into
you're
the
right.
weekend.
We're all wrong. We're all right. Okay,
That's right.
good. 0-0. All right. Seahawks are traveling.
1-0. We're both 1-0 going into the weekend.
You're
We're both-
right. Yeah, my bad. We're both 1-0. Seahawks going to Germany to take on Tom Brady and the Bucks. Tampa Bay is 2.5-point favorites. Okay, who you got here, Pat?
I think it's like so simple to pick the Seahawks here because of how they've been playing, with how good they've been playing, and how the Buccaneers have looked. But you go back a couple weeks, Devin White said that he was reminded that not everybody makes the NFL. So I should try. I think that's a big piece. I think what Warren Sapp said about him made him wake up a little bit. Tom gets that big time win. He said that was awesome. That was fucking awesome. Tom's first time in Germany. And we said this a little bit about Aaron going to England. Like, hey, once a GOAT heads overseas, it's going to be like their performance. That did not happen for the Packers. I think it happens for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I like the Bucks -2.5. Still like the Seahawks going forward, though, as a team, as a squad. And I love watching them dance on the field yesterday.
Luke Gerticke, their starting guard, and Russell Gage are both not playing. They did not make the
For
trip
Tampa?
to Germany. For Tampa, yep.
See, I was originally leaning Tampa on this because I'm like everybody. I'm like every other Mark. I just assume Tom Brady's going to figure it out, right? But I'm going to have to go Seahawks.
Give me
here.
the Seahawks.
Oh.
Give me the Seahawks. I did not know these two dudes were hurt. Give me the
Yeah.
Seahawks. We'll be 2-0. Both of us
All
will
right.
be 2-0 by noon on Sunday.
Yeah, we got to trust in Geno. What he's been doing, no fluke so far.
They were dancing at practice.
Jacksonville, and Bruce Irvin was not dancing, and I thought it was awesome when he was standing 20 yards away from the crew just watching him.
Staring at him.
All right, let me know when walkthrough starts, guys. Jacksonville heads to Kansas City. Jacksonville's, 9.5-point dogs against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. What do you think?
Yeah.
This line feels like it's so high you're supposed to pick the Jags. Right?
Worse.
Tone, is that right? Is that like I'm supposed to pick the Jags, you think here?
Yeah, I would lean that way, but most of the money and bets are 70% on KC, so no one's doing it. It's not high enough.
So no matter what the line was,
to win by 10 is not that much. If you win by 10, all right, it's okay. It's not we didn't blow them out.
It's the Chiefs.
Pick 6 at the end, too. A turnover at the end. A field goal can kind of lock it up. Give me the Chiefs minus 9.5 at home, 1 o'clock at the Kingdom. At the home of the
Chiefs have not covered at home all year, so they're due for one at Arrowhead.
Or that's just all right. Thank you. We
All right,
need more of those.
give me the Chiefs too. I got to take the Chiefs. I mean, I don't like hearing that, but I'll take the Chiefs. And moving on, the Jack Easterby-less Texans travel to New York to take on Brian Daboll and the New York Giants. What do you think? Saquon obviously having a heck of a year. Danny Jones, who you like here?
So I took the slate to Chris Felica this morning because of how bad the slate looks and a lot of fishy lines this weekend in the NFL. And as soon as we got to this game, I said, Texans plus 5.5 on the road at the Giants is like a Chris Felica Bear special. Like that is Bear loves the Texans. I was right on that. He absolutely loves them. So it's hard for me to ever bet on the Texans. I love Bear. I trust Bear. I just saw Daboll do the wipe me down at practice today.
Yeah.
So let me be a mark and just continue to ride with Saquon Barkley, who Mike Greenberg says is the only non-quarterback that should win the MVP of the NFL this year.
Man, see, all right, I'm going to take Texans here. I need to. I don't know.
That's a Bear. That has Bear written all over. Tone, isn't that like a Bear pick through and through right there?
1,000% because people see the record of the Giants and they're like, holy shit, they're only 5.5-point favorites against this team that's 1-7 or 1-8, whatever the fucking Texans are. So yeah, that is an absolute special.
Okay. All right. I'll take the Texans there at plus 5.5.
That's a good gambler, AJ. That's a good gambler move, AJ.
Yeah, if it wins, it's a good gambling move, but we'll see. Detroit travels to Chicago to take on Zeet's squad over there. What do we think here? Detroit's 3-point dogs?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ooh, okay. What do you think, Evie? You offended that you're an underdog here?
No, I think Justin Fields will run for 200 yards. I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown will have a good game because he's playing against his brother who's on the Chicago
$1,000
Bears.
bet between them.
Yes.
On who wins?
How about between you two? Is there a $1,000 bet?
Here we go.
Hell yeah.
Steak dinner bet?
Let's go.
Do it.
$1,000.
Victory steak bet?
Gout special? What do we
God
got?
special.
Victory steak bet. I like that.
But you have to
little
cook.
gout-
The
little
loser
gout
cooks the other person's steak.
Hell yeah.
What do you think?
Is that happening in the office? We'll bring like a Foreman grill in or whatever?
Yeah. Do it.
Okay,
Deal?
sweet.
Shake on it back there,
I'm happy we
boys.
did that.
Deal.
Shake.
Boom, they shook.
Boom.
Oh, good.
Bear
I can't wait to
done.
watch
Bear
that.
done. Wait.
What?
Lions, Bears. Lions, 3-point dogs.
Oh, the weather's kind of cleaned up.
Nice.
It's clear.
Also, I love this line because this game will come down to a field goal. I guarantee
You
it.
know what they say about Texas weather, Pat?
What?
If you don't like it, just wait 15 minutes. That's what they say. Every single state. I
Every
think
state.
Indiana's the most true, and probably Ohio too, for how flat and boring that state is when you're driving across it. Indiana, same damn thing. Same with Iowa. So the weather, easy come, easy go. Just like money on the craps table. You know what I'm saying? Give me the Bears just because MCDC said, we need this one, man. I'm exhausted. I want to have a beer. What? He's not the only one that's thinking that. You know, Super Bowl victory last week for the Lions. I think Bears are building something special. Give me the Bears -3.
Oh, yeah. Bear down.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bears -3 right now. A lot of positive energy, positive things going on in Chicago, it seems like, behind Justin Fields. So I'll take the Bears -3, and then we move on to Saints-Steelers. Uh-oh. Diggs, you're off the wagon. You don't even care about the Steelers.
That's not true. I said they'd be 7-2 after the bye week. TJ Watt's back is a completely different team. Fucking Saints stink.
Oh, we're back. Okay. All right. So Saints are what, 1.5-point favorites here against the Pittsburgh Steelers?
That's in Acrisure.
Yeah.
Is that in Acrisure?
Yeah, it's at the shore.
Hey, who's getting introduced? Defense?
Yeah, TJ's coming out last. Defense getting introduced. Boz is on.
TJ.
Wide
What were you going to say? Diggs,
Boz
go ahead,
is,
more
Boz
stats.
is on the IR, which worries me a little bit about a close game, but
Chris Boswell?
yeah.
Who's kicking?
Matthew
What
Wright.
the fuck?
Matthew Wright, who was
He's
on
got a baby leg, but he's not bad. He hit from like 50-something a couple weeks ago for
With the
another
Chiefs.
team.
With the
He's
Chiefs,
a,
yeah.
He's a good kicker, yeah. Matthew
yeah.
Wright's a good kicker. Give me TJ Watt being
Right.
back and changing the entire defense. Changing the entire defense whenever you got the defensive MVP getting home every single play. Last year, I think Diggs said the stats were they were the number 1 sacking team in football. This year, they're the number 32 team in football. That's TJ Watt, the difference maker. Give me the Steelers plus 1.5 in Acrisure at 1 o'clock. Yinzers are going to be boozing. They're going to be trying to speak French to the Saints fans that come in there. It's going to sound a lot like "Wah you pal." Give me the Steelers plus 1.5.
With that being said, I'll take the Steelers as well, minus 1.5. I don't know all the activities going on inside Acrisure, but that sounds like it's probably going to be
You're in Ohio, fuck. You get
probably
it.
going to happen. Hopefully they still got the troughs in the bathrooms, and guys are going to be jumping, doing swan dives through the troughs when they win that game. That's always a great celebration, I know, for people. What is this? The Browns taking on the Dolphins. Browns are 3.5-point dogs down in Miami. What do you think? That seems like it should be more to me.
AJ, I'm going to take the Dolphins. Miami thick weather, especially with that storm coming through. Humidity is probably going to be high. Their high-powered offense, I think, is going to be too much for the Browns to stop. Give me the Dolphins at home, minus 3.5.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins, minus 3.5 at home as well. And then we come to Minnesota Vikings against the Buffalo Bills. No word hour to hour on Josh Allen. I don't see any way that he plays. He hasn't practiced yet unless he throws a bunch of balls today. I don't know. It seems like it would be dumb to put him in, but what do I know? Bills are 3.5-point favorites at home against the Vikings.
Boyer's out as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Von Miller's still playing. I love Vaughn. We love Vaughn. Vaughn said he might play quarterback. Shit. Fuck. Put me in there.
High school. Get it high school. Yeah.
Huge.
Milano's playing, right?
I think so.
23 of 25 touchdowns not playing for the Buffalo Bills.
That's a lot.
Give me the Vikings, who have played very well, even though people say they've squeaked by teams. They've hung like 300 yards in the first half on multiple teams and maybe not been able to put it away for whatever reason. Plus 3.5 is good. This will be a close game. If the Bills win, I love it because I love the Bills. If the Vikings cover, that's great news for this pick. 3.5 feels like a good number for the Vikings to cover, though.
Yeah, I got to go Vikings 3.5. Obviously, Josh Allen not there. He accounts for so much in the running game too. So I like the Vikings there to cover that one. Jeez, I don't. Some of these games.
What, are you just gonna pick everything I pick?
I don't.
AJ?
That's why I was like.
What is the deal?
That's why I was fumbling through it. I'm fumbling through
Ty?
it. I don't want to. I don't like to. I like to pick separate from you, but it's just hard in certain games. This week, I feel like we agree on too many.
If it means anything, media was just allowed in the field house after practice. Josh Allen ran off the field in his practice jersey. First time this week we've seen him wearing it.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay.
If that changes anything.
They might have been doing it as gamesmanship.
Obviously.
Yeah, keep the Vikings on their toes.
This is a big game, though.
Hey,
Vikings
Case Keenum is a
Bills
good
massive
player,
game.
though. Case Keenum is a good player, but he doesn't have the run. He can't run like Josh Allen runs, but Case Keenum can throw it.
How many times have you guys are like, do they say a player's hurt like this or whatever, not hurt? Will they keep them off during the media portion of the practice, and then as soon as the media leaves, bring
It
them on?
depends. It depends what game they want to play. Like when Luck was going through that whole shoulder thing, they were hiding him from the media, but then he was playing because they didn't want to get any video of him throwing or doing anything. But then whenever there's been times where a guy's going to play, but he's questionable, so they keep him away from the media. It's both ways there.
Yep.
Both ways there, Diggs.
Yeah, because the media is only there usually for like the first 15, 20 minutes of practice during like walkthrough and a little bit of individual period maybe. I don't know. Every team's different.
Yeah, we mentioned Case Keenum too because Minneapolis Miracle revenge game. If Case Keenum does play for Buffalo, so there is kind of that two sides to that.
He's got the look at the agility from Case Keenum. Who said that?
Wow.
He's hopping nobodies. He's doing his Josh Allen impersonation.
Okay.
He's going to have to. 23 or 25 touchdowns. I still think it's very possible for the Bills to win, no matter what's going on, because I think the Bills are a good culture, a good team, and everything like that. So are the Vikings, though. And I think that is one of the things that, has kind of alarmed people this season. And, it's almost like the Seahawks combo. Like, Seahawks are a good team. Coming into the season, everybody thought they were going to stink. Like, right now, Week 10, Vikings, very good team. They're dominated the NFC North right now.
Yeah.
Nobody expected that coming in. New coach, new GM. So I think maybe the narrative about them is just a little bit different. So I like the Vikings to I don't know if they'll. Yeah, I like them to win. Plus 3.5 is a good number as well.
Yeah, I think so too. And then, I mean, you look at the Buffalo, at least the last few weeks, like Dalvin Cook could have a massive game. So I think the Vikings they're just hard to pick against right now.
Yeah, no Poyer for offense with Justin Jefferson and now T.J. Hawkinson and Thielen, who was
Tre'Davious White back.
They activate him off the pup, but I don't know if they said that he's actually playing yet or not.
They didn't say it was a guarantee, though, right? They
No.
said this doesn't mean that he's playing. I don't know if there had been an update since then. I don't know. Nonetheless, I like the Vikings.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I have the Vikings here as well. And now we have Russell Wilson, the squad. Team 3 travels to Tennessee to take on the Tennessee Titans, Braves, that whole crew. Do we know Tannehill's situation? What's going on?
I believe he was practicing.
He's good to go. He should be starting.
So. Yep.
Okay. What do you got here, Pat?
Well, I think they should. If Tannehill is going to play, they should continue to utilize what everybody was scared to death of when Malik came in, which is the little option. We've seen it with Jalen Hurts. We saw it with Malik. That was able to open things up for Derrick Henry even more. The question on this one is Denver's defense is really fucking good. How do the Titans move? Now, none of us have any faith in the Denver Broncos Russell Wilson era, and they've been very boring. But how do the Tennessee Titans move in this, you think? How do they – because the Broncos defense is legit, right, AJ? I mean, they're fucking legit
It's
squad.
probably a Tennessee Titans game where they're going to try to wear them down. And hopefully, towards the end of the third quarter, Derrick Henry starts breaking those 4-yard runs into makes them 12. And then he breaks one big one, and they find a way to win by like 6 points.
So to your point, Pat, I remember thinking that this week, and then when I looked up the matchup stats or whatever – Denver actually has the 27th ranked in yards per rush defense and 21st.
Oh, give me the Titans.
21st in yards per game rushing defense. So they have a really good defense. Their pass defense is number 1. But if they are susceptible to anything, it's the running game.
Yep. And then the play action game off of that with the Titans love. So,
also, the Titans defense over the last several weeks have been forcing a lot of turnovers and getting a lot of pressure.
Hell, Mahomes.
They got Braves, dude.
I like that D-line. I think they're gonna do whatever they can to make Russ have a long day. Their D-line is powerful, strong. They're mean. They're fun to watch. They really are. I got the Tennessee here, 3.5. It's 3.5.
They're really taking the identity of their coach.
Yes. Oh yeah. More than any team we've ever seen before, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what you try and do when you become a head coach. You're trying to set your culture, and then you hope that your team takes on your identity. Somehow, in Nashville, Tennessee, a team is taking on the identity of an Ohio fuck. So we will take the Titans minus 2.5.
Hell yeah. Okay, here we go. This is a game of the week right here. I don't know who's going to be broadcasting this one, but Colts Raiders. Do we know who's on? Who has Jeff Saturday's first game as head coach?
I think it's Joe Thomas. I think Joe Thomas is calling it.
Yep.
NFL Network.
Joe Thomas and Kevin Kugler. I think you're right.
Joe, relax, bro. Okay, Jesus.
Did you know? I didn't know everyone was going to have such strong takes. I guess.
I think I did, yeah. Because remember, I think it was just a couple of days ago where I was like, it's only a matter of time before people start blaming Jeff for even accepting the job. Remember I said that?
Yeah. Yep.
And then lo and behold, the biscuits and gravy train with things gets on Good Morning Football and does a 4-minute monologue about how Jeff Saturday shouldn't have even accepted the job. Yeah. Jeff wants to be a coach, has probably reiterated the fact that he wants to be a coach. Gets hired, gets asked if he wants to coach the team in which he's a Ring of Honor and a consultant on. And he's wrong for saying, hey, Jeff, why don't you think about the bigger picture, Jeff? All right, Joe Thomas, shut the fuck up.
What I'm about to say, I don't know, this doesn't reflect anybody else, but if we're being honest, like, same could be said about the job that Joe Thomas has right now and him accepting that job.
Where's that?
Okay.
With NFL Network?
It's on TV
right?
anywhere?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I really wonder what song Joe Thomas would be singing if Jeff Saturday maybe went from NFL Network to head coach of the Colts instead of ESPN
you're
to
right.
head coach of the Colts.
What would you say?
He'd probably be all for it.
I will say, I respect Joe Thomas's resume and his career and what everybody has said about him as a football player and as a teammate. He had some hard times in Cleveland, okay? Hard times, and was an absolute dog and a stud. That soapbox he got on this morning was one of the biggest I've ever seen in my life. I appreciate it. I respect it. I'm sure there's a lot of people hyping him up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Fucking give me the Colts this weekend. And this seems to be a one-way street for everybody's money to be on the Raiders, which would make sense. Brand new head coach who has really, earned his stripes in the coaching ranks, hasn't he, to become a head coach. Now, they've blown 17-point leads numerous times this season. Who knows what the culture is that he's been able to set in there, but he has earned his stripes as a coach to become a head coach in the NFL. So him accepting that job is okay. McDaniel's accepting that job. Accepting a head coaching job in the NFL where there's only 32 of them, the pay is very good, and you have actual say in how a team's outcome in, especially if you happen to really love that potential program and appreciate everything about it. But, I appreciate that of Josh McDaniels. I appreciate that for the Raiders. But I'm going to bet the Colts just strictly because it's 2022 NFL season. If you've heard, all signs out of the Colts building have been like new energy, fresh energy, feels like there's accountability. Jeff Saturday in the first practice made him repeat something. And he said, yeah, let's do that shit the first time now. Like, I think Jeff has all the traits to be a good head coach. They have no play caller. Jeff acknowledged that. He said, we're really up against it. We have less people, more work. Nobody really knows the offense. He's kind of laying out all of the things and being very authentic and transparent, which I appreciate. And Jeff is a friend of mine. So whenever people that don't know him get on their fucking grandstand box and bury him about it all. Okay, if you want to bury Jim, understandable, because this is out of left field. But to take a shot at Jeff, I think that was out of line, out of pocket. Now, follow up. Jeff's going to have those boys ready to fly around on Saturday or on Sunday. In Sin City, a sinful decision by Jim Irsay is going to pay off. I think they cover 4.5. I hope to God. It might be a boat race, though. Raiders might win by 50. Parks Frazier might be the worst play caller in history. There's a chance he's the best, though. Give me the Colts.
Also, no Waller or Hunter Renfrow. So we'll see if they can protect, though. You got the Condor and Chandler Jones coming off the edge. So if Jeff has shored up the offensive line, I think there's a very good chance the Colts win.
No.
Blake Martinez retired, too.
That's right.
No Shaq Leonard, Deion Jackson, or Jelani Woods for the Colts.
That's right.
Shaq's already out.
Jelani Woods!
JT's back, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Jelani Woods? He never plays. What happened?
Nick?
I'm not sure. It just came up on the injury report. He's out.
Damn it. Did we know Shaq Leonard was going to be out this game?
No, we know he didn't miss Sunday service.
He had a setback on Wednesday.
What part? What body part? What is
back
it?
and ankle, or whatever it is.
Okay. Man, I hope he that back thing. That's been going on for a long time, hasn't it? Didn't they? They thought it was his ankle, but it was his back, or they thought it was his back and it was his ankle.
Yeah, and he came out.
Shit's coming in sideways.
Jeff
Jeff Saturday hiring might come in from the sideways.
Oh yeah, I didn't pick. I got the Colts as well at plus 4.5.
Really, AJ? How come? How come? Just because everybody's railing against Jeff Saturday?
Yeah. Why would you blame Jeff Saturday for accepting the job? And that's
my biggest issue.
If he didn't want to coach in the NFL, he should still accept this job just to do it as, hey, maybe I do want to coach in the NFL. This is a great experience. Like, you can't, I don't know how you blame the person for accepting the job. Like you said, if you want to question whether it was, this is right if we make this hiring and not go through the process, whatever, for the interim job, cool. But, no. You would have said yes, too. Anyone would have said yes.
To you guys' point, too, it's kind of surprising. I figured all former players unanimously would have been like, hey, this is awesome. We
kind of were, haven't we? I think we kind of have, except for the people on some networks. But I think if you talk about any group text messages that are happening with any former NFL players, the way it's being talked about, I think, and AJ, you can correct me if I'm wrong from the people you've talked to, but the people I've talked to, everybody's like, let's fucking go, Jeff. Yeah. Let's go. So then the guys that have an interest in coaching or maybe are high school coaching because they feel like they can impact the team and the game differently, if this opens up an avenue for guys to get a head coaching opportunity or a coordinator position, as opposed to we've been hammering this since the beginning, everybody that I've talked to seems to be on board with it, but everybody I've talked to also knows Saturday. So I guess it's a little bit biased.
That maybe that's probably
tie.
I don't know though. So I played 1 year with Jeff, so I know Jeff, and I'm sure I'm biased because of that. But if I didn't, I'm trying to think if this was some other guy that I never played with, but I knew of him, whatever. I tend to believe I would think the same thing. That I do now. Good, go. Let's see what happens. I don't know. It seems it's a bit out of the box, but who knows? Why not? Why not give it a chance?
Well, it really does seem like at least the players who are outspoken against this, like you mentioned, are the ones who are in positions on TV where it's almost like that's the expectation, because everyone else that's on those panels is so up in arms and pissed off about it. Those guys feel like, oh, well, I have to be too.
Do you get some like social equity by being up in arms? Like, does it help?
I mean, it's
is it grandstanding or what is it? I don't know.
No, it's not grandstanding. I think there's people that legitimately care about the future of the NFL when it comes to minority head coaching candidates. And I think we all should feel that way because
I think this opens it up to minority candidates. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand the argument.
We do too. Yeah, that's been our thing since the beginning. Like, I think this is good for that, even though Jeff is getting whiter by the day with the way his hair is growing on his
hair is awesome.
and the way
curls.
He's wearing a 3/4 zip and everything
his
like that.
outfits.
But I think long term, if we were to zoom out a little bit, I think it is potentially going to be a plus for that particular thing, which we would all like to see fixed. Anybody that's ever been in the NFL, we would like to see that happen because we understand the importance of everybody in that locker room. Like, anybody that's been in an NFL locker room appreciates the fact of learning about people and situations that are different than where you came from. It's its own planet in a locker room with so many different backgrounds, and getting to learn about everybody is incredible, and having friends that are from different backgrounds is incredible, which is what the NFL locker room opens up. So I think that would be a beautiful display to the world that the biggest league on earth has the ability to have, not this conversation about whether or not a black guy is going to get a head coaching gig. Like, I think there is more than the people that I know personally. I know probably 8 black dudes that want to be coaches that would be great head coaches who would probably never get an opportunity because they wouldn't be willing or have the capability of getting coffee for people and fucking drawing up plays for people and doing all the grunt work that you do whenever you're 22 because they're 35 and they just played a fucking very successful NFL career. If Jeff has success, I think all these dudes now have a say and an example to be like, hey, boom. This has worked. It can work. I don't want to be getting coffee for some motherfucker that's been doing this for 15 years while I've been playing in the NFL. Like, I'm so confused and baffled by it, but I guess that's the immediate reaction world that we live in right now. You know what I mean, AJ?
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying. Like, I think it opens up the door. If Jeff does well, it opens up the door to a lot of our buddies that we know would be great coaches, but they're not going to jump in at age 35 and start at the bottom just at the hope of eventually becoming a head coach or even like a coordinator. Like, you're not even position coach usually for a couple of years. So I think it gets him in faster, and we'll see what happens, man. I mean, like Jeff said, he knows how to lead men. Let's see if you have enough athletes and enough talent on that roster to actually get some wins. It should be fun to see how it plays out. I don't know. What do you guys think?
That was to Zito. Once again, that was to Zito.
Okay. What did he do?
I was laughing because right when he said, hopefully you got enough talent on that team, you started shaking your head. Probably pretty good.
No offense.
Good to know.
No offense to President Obama earlier, and no offense to the roster.
Don't worry about it, Pat.
That was to Zito.
Okay.
What was that?
What was that? That was awesome.
Was Barry on the line?
He said, don't worry.
Oh, don't worry about it, AJ.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Coach. Mr. President.
Coach Obama.
Coach. I've been around Bobby too much. Calls everybody Coach. All right, Cardinals are taking on the Rams. Is this that's not the Sunday night game. No. Is there a Sunday night game?
Yes.
Who is it?
The one right below that one.
Right below it.
Chargers,
I thought those were
Niners.
bye week games. You guys put on.
They're a Sunday night game.
You guys put on bye
What
weeks.
is your problem?
Fucking week 10.
Well, the Germany game says 9:30 p.m. Everything's confused me on this chart. I don't know what's going on. Is it p.m. or a.m.?
flaw. What, Sunday night football?
Sunday night's usually at Sunday night.
Yeah.
Where is Sunday on this chart with these dumb rows
Right
and columns?
before
you
the
got?
Monday
just
night
keep
one.
going.
Where's the bye weeks? Last week we had the bye weeks in the
You
bottom
see
four.
where the bye week. Stop being a prick.
Same spot.
I
Bye
actually
weeks are in
don't.
the same spot.
Cardinals, Rams,
Same
don't
exact
care.
spot.
I don't care. I got the Rams -1. Continue. What do you have?
All right, I'll take the Cardinals just because that would make sense because it's all dysfunctional over there. I'll take the Cardinals. I don't believe in either of these teams. That's a damn shame.
You think
I
they
high
like
hopes
each
for
other?
both of these teams.
Think they like each other after seeing DeAndre and Cliff and all those sideline antics?
Bro, who knows? Who cares? Both these teams have disappointed all of us. Give me the Cardinals +1 just so we're on the opposite side of each other.
Yeah, who knows if the Rams like each other either after those Jalen Ramsey comments after the Bucs lost, too.
There's some animosity in that locker room as well.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I believe as of
These
right now,
teams-
you guys are only 2 games that are separate right now.
Yeah, just the
Oh,
Giants.
good. Then here's a separate. Then this is third.
Yeah, no, this is
Good
the
luck
second
on
one.
those.
This is only the
Good
second
luck on those.
All right. See, this one I'm struggling with. The next one, Pat. We got Cowboys. Big Mike's traveling back to Lambeau. Cowboys are 4.5-point favorites against Green Bay. Green Bay has a bunch of injuries. How many guys are out this week?
So many. Cowboys should be 17-point favorites this weekend.
When was the last time the Packers and the Steelers were both home dogs? It's been a long time.
That's a great. Hey, stat that.
Stat
somehow.
that. Stat that. Hashtag stat that.
Long time.
Someone
First time in 30 years that the Cowboys and or the Packers and the Steelers are home dogs. Stat that.
Stat that.
Stat that.
Who do you think's going to win this one?
Oh, Cowboys. What do I? Yeah, give me that.
Minus 4.5. You're
Cowboys.
taking Dallas minus 4.5.
Yeah, and I can GFM. You know, I could do that if this all works. The last time I picked the Bills to cover over the Packers backdoored that thing. It was 10.5. It ended up being a 10-point spread. So maybe this will be good for the Packers for me to do this again. Big Mike coming back into town. Yeah. Big warm reception. Him eating at the same restaurants that he used to slaughter back in the day. Maybe getting a chance to see the house that he lied to Tom Pelissero that he was working out of. Give me the Big Mike motivational, I'm back in town bitch game. Cowboys. Minus 4.5 on the road.
All right. See, I mean, we've agreed on a lot of different games. I was leaning Green Bay early here. Ty gave me some news, and I learned on the way up that tragically Gallagher has passed, and we know that Big Mike smashes watermelons for big games. So Big Mike, not revenge game, but memoriam game for Gallagher. Yeah. I got to go Cowboys here minus 4.5.
Passed today?
Yes, he did.
Can we please?
He's dead.
Whoa. He passed away.
Yes, he died.
No, I said today. Like, did he pass?
I believe so.
Today.
He was in hospice care. He's been sick for a little while.
You can say it with a little brevity, AJ.
But in hospice care, he was still hammering things.
Yeah.
That's not brevity. That's not brevity.
I know.
That was jocularity.
I was mocking.
Why are you mocking anything?
I'm not
right
mocking
now?
anyone's death. I'm
You
mocking
son of a
the
bitch.
roadie that is Nick Moraldo and his full go
Don't
fingerless
deflect,
gloves all
dude.
day
You
long.
disrespected Gallagher. You're a piece of shit.
Gallagher would not have
Piece
been
of
brought
shit.
up on this show if it wasn't for me. So Gallagher's family
You don't
knows.
think I would have brought it up? What are you talking about? Literally, as soon as I sat down on this microphone, I see the text come through the chat room that you don't ever participate in.
Yeah, dude.
I see the text come through Gallagher dead at 78. Oh my God. Then I come live. Hey, Pat, how you doing? Well, I'm in the middle of a tornado. I would have brought up Gallagher. I love Gallagher. I used to watch Gallagher all the time.
Legend.
A little splash zone where people had the tarps. Just his ability. Hey, why do they park on the driveway? They drive on the parkway. Like everything about Gallagher was
That's good.
absolutely electric, and he's electrifying. Rest in peace to Mr. Gallagher. Thank you for your years of service to the society and entertaining and educating. The amount of energy that he would, use on the stage is worthy of a conversation. So, AJ, I know you say he's dead.
Well, he's
He
dead.
just passed away, and he's in heaven right now, bonking clouds for everybody else that's up there. So, rest in peace to Gallagher. We appreciate your service. I'm sorry, the guy to my left, you're right now, is a menace to society and doesn't appreciate anything.
Love you,
Gallagher. First off, you guys don't know anything about Gallagher. Also, I feel bad. Gallagher's twin brother took big time advantage of him and was touring his act as Gallagher. And Gallagher couldn't get him to stop, I think, back in the day. And I don't think they have a relationship, but he was trying to steal his act.
That's bullshit.
So I'm hoping by the time he passed that they made up and everything.
So Gallagher 2 still alive?
Gallagher 2, I believe so. He probably now he springs into action. I don't know. How's that work?
Nope.
Do not. He stole his brother's gimmick.
Yeah.
Can't have it.
Or is he carrying it on?
No.
No, Gallagher sued him. I think Gallagher took him to court.
Wow.
Yeah. I think they legit went after him. He had to. It was a bad situation.
Real beef there, I think. I'm not sure. Hopefully they did settle it up in hospice or whatever, but thank you, Gallagher.
Thank you, Gallagher.
Love you, Gallagher. Miss you,
Actual
Gallagher.
Gallagher.
If people haven't seen Gallagher, young kids, I'm the big doofus. Con just dropped a bowling ball. What happened?
Sorry.
What's over there?
Which
What'd
is
you
my
do?
phone. I was trying to look up when the last time the Packers and the Steelers were home underdogs.
I tried looking up too. I could
Stat
not
that.
find it.
You don't even
Oh, you
have
couldn't
that
find
either,
it? You
Connor.
couldn't even pick it up?
Probably doesn't exist.
Yeah, it might have. This might be the first time ever.
It's unprecedented.
Unprecedented, truly.
Put the tweet out, Connor. Put the tweet out so I can retweet it.
Put the tweet out. Pop that slate up again. See what other games we have left to pick here. So we both went. You went Cardinals. I went Rams. We both went Cowboys. Now we got. Where are we next? Where do you want to go?
Chargers, Sunday Night Football, which is happening crazy in the middle of the NFL season. Sunday Night Football is happening.
First off, the Los Angeles Chargers. I have no clue how to ever pick a game they ever play in. I don't know what I don't know what they are.
Beat the Falcons because the Falcons beat themselves, basically. But they have the ability to win. Eckler's a touchdown scoring machine. Herbert can make every single throw. Khalil Mack, obviously a guy. And I just watched a video that Kyle Van Noy was learning of Cameron Dicker's name while Cameron Dicker was kicking a game winner for them just a week ago. Dicker, the kicker, is obviously electrifying. He used to stomp on this field, right behind me here, at DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium, in which TCU will be here tomorrow. I like Dicker. I like the Chargers. I also love that Niners team. 7 points on primetime is a lot, though, AJ, for two teams that aren't completely inept. And by that, I'm saying the Chargers aren't a completely inept team. They have figured out ways to lose over the years, and certainly this year that trade has continued. They've had injuries they've had to battle against. 7 points is a lot in this matchup, I think, personally, AJ. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Seven does worry me a bit, but I think I'm leaning Niners here. I think I have like a weird blind trust in Kyle Shanahan that when they're on, and they're really, really good. And I love Fred Warner. You see that picture? Look how jacked that dude is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this picture. There's an awesome clip of him flying through the air. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. Like this dude. He needs to be talked about more. He is so good. And Christian McCaffrey. Who doesn't want to watch Christian McCaffrey on primetime? Is this his first primetime real action with the Niners?
With the Niners, yeah. And this will probably be the first real game where him and Debo are really massive parts of the offense because when he had that.
And also, go ahead. And also, he's had 20. Sorry, Connor. He's had 20 days now with that playbook.
Yeah, exactly.
Who just tore their Achilles, though, for the Niners?
Jason Verrett.
Man, I heard that was a big deal. The rest of the team took it tough, too.
Yeah,
right?
they said they basically had to stop practice.
Tore his Achilles. That's brutal.
Yeah, George Kittle said he's never been on a field where it was just like dead silent like it was
Sounds
yesterday.
like when Teddy B hurt his knee. Remember when Teddy did that, and it was like nasty, and people were scared and crying like this. So, man, it was one of those.
Yeah.
Shows you how much he means to that team.
Yeah, he just came back from a big tear.
Another Achilles.
Sounds like they're going to play for him. Give me the Niners.
Yeah. Give me the Niners. I got Niners -7 as well. Do we have any others to go?
Nope. No, that's Sunday Night Football. You remember after Sunday Night Football is only Monday Night Football.
You guys' brains are so linear. I'm trying to think outside the box. I don't have to go through the rows and columns just like you. My bad. Sorry, I don't put myself in my own prison. What's up, Pat? How you doing? Is Matt McConaughey there yet?
I haven't seen him fly in.
He's got to be at the game, though, right?
I would assume. Yeah, he's the director of culture.
Yep.
There.
He'll be there.
Is he running for? Wasn't he running for office, or he's going to?
No, he decided.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, everyone wants him to, but now he's going to be.
Who's everyone?
Everyone in Texas.
Remember
Would he get in with a landslide?
I don't know if everyone in Texas. wants him. I mean, this is politics.
Hook him.
It's not dive in. We don't know how that goes. But I do remember him after. Was it Uvalde or another one where he was at the White House?
Uvalde.
Yeah.
And he made that podium his, and he gave like a very presidential speech that was very well received from everybody. I think he's one of the greatest speakers we have, orators. I think he's a great writer too. I think when McConaughey really puts the, I'm gonna dip this ink in the quill, I believe is what Coach Lou Holtz has said. But when McConaughey does that, it's normally very profound. I've never met him. I hope I get to see him tomorrow. You
will,
and I assume I will. He's a good guy. I'm a big fan of Will McConaughey's handsome ass.
I think
big fan of Will McConaughey.
Kirk and McConaughey have been friends forever. I feel like, haven't they?
Kirk's friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Like actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I'll say, "Oh, that guy stinks" or something. You go, "Whoa." I go, "Why?" And then I immediately like, "Oh my god, this guy's." Friends with all these people.
I was joking. I mean, he's awesome, really. Like that's just that's what they say.
No, I'll stick by. I'll normally go like. I don't know him personally, obviously. Sounds like you do. And then I'll rattle off like, bam, bam, bam. Doesn't that guy stink? And then he'll have like, obviously, a rebuttal to stick up for his friend, which is what we're doing for Jeff Saturday, what I'm doing for Jeff Saturday and this whole thing, even though that could get ugly this weekend. But, Kirk's friends with everybody. I assume him and McConaughey just probably going to have whiskeys tonight.
Right.
Change the world a little bit.
Right.
And Jordan Spieth is going to be the guest picker tomorrow. He was going to come on this show.
Oh, there we go. There's a surprise I didn't spoil. I didn't say he was going to be the guest picker. I said he's going to be on the show.
You ruined it.
Yeah, but then you saying, is he surprised or not, kind of alludes to it being a surprise.
Exactly.
We apologize to him for not being able to connect with him. The weather is bananas. It's a little chilly. All these people back here have to sit here because of me. So I'm going to get out of here. I can't thank you all enough. Have an incredible feel-good Friday. Happy Veterans Day. I'd like to take this moment to say to all the women and men that have signed a line, current or retired, or in the future, I guess, if you're thinking about doing it, because there's people that have made up their decision that they're going to serve our country, those that are serving currently, and then those who have, spent maybe today at a VFW hammering 25-cent beers, reminiscing about, what you've been through, what you've gone through. Know that we are very appreciative of your service. And I've say this almost every single time we chat about the military, because somehow the military became this very politically divisive thing. And every single military person that I have met has only wanted to make the world a better place, made the country a better place. I'm sure at higher positions, the ones who are pulling the strings for a lot of these decisions, there is political agenda and political motive. But those who are strapping up the boots, I don't think anybody I've ever encountered had any of those types of things. You don't have to be pro-war to be pro-warrior. I think today is a great day to remind yourself of that. And it's a great day to maybe say thank you every once in a while by buying a coffee or a meal or just a dap up high five saying thank you. Because even if they didn't go into a war zone, they signed a letter saying they would if they had to. So happy Veterans Day to everybody. Thank you so much to everybody that signed up for us. And I hope we win every fucking bet this weekend and honor them all.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Awesome. Very well said. Thanks, man. Appreciate your time. Good luck tomorrow down there. We'll tune in. Make sure everyone watches Pat on Game Day, Texas versus TCU. What's up, man?
Hey, 9 a.m. to noon tomorrow, ESPN live. There's going to be a fucking cow here named Bevo.
Let's
go.
Hell yeah. You got to ride it. Can you ride it?
I don't know if they're going to let me on the back of that particular steer, but maybe I find a Texas Longhorn to saddle this evening. You know what I'm saying? Down there in Fort Worth.
Hell yeah.
But it's going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun morning tomorrow, from what I've heard and things I've gone through. All right, like paper wise, and this should be a great weekend. I can't thank you all enough. Guten Tag to the Germans. Enjoy Sunday morning. Can't wait to watch Tom Brady hopefully do his thing because I picked him, but. It's a great time to be alive. Say something nice to somebody. Goodbye.
All right,
AJ,
see you. Thanks,
you're the
man.
best.
Appreciate
Thank
it, buddy.
you.
Have fun down there, Pat. Good job. Boys, there's still so much to get to in this last hour, obviously, that we have. We're going to take 5 here. Nick, you can cue that music if you want. I can't cue it on here. Boom, look at you, Nick.
Boom.
As he's just throwing
anything
insults.
for you scumbag.
Throwing insults this way all
Well, it's
all
the
time.
gloves. What you don't understand is that the gloves can make things happen that you couldn't even imagine.
You don't know, dude.
It's a good little song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
You don't know.
I can't hear any of this on my end when I'm at home. I don't get to hear the music. This is good.
I think we do that by choice over here. If you want music,
Daft Punk made this.
I don't believe that's the case.
How would you?
Whatever happened to CeeLo? Wasn't he part of a group
CeeLo
that made
Green.
songs? Yeah.
Gnarls Barkley.
Yes, they're not here anymore. Ty, there's a couple things in the third hour I want to make sure we get to. Mike Florio got Mike Zimmer fired, technically. Allegedly, Mike Zimmer believes that, right?
Yep.
That's a little. Well, we might have a clip on that. Cliff Kingsbury and Vance Joseph watch film with Michael Bidwell every week. Now, Michael Bidwell is the owner of the team, right?
That's right.
Is that normal?
Apparently not.
I've heard no.
I know owners take part in staff meetings a lot. They do. I don't know how much you're sitting down and like explaining to the owner, hey, this is what we're trying on this 3rd and 6. This is what we thought they were going to be in cover 2, but actually they're playing cover 3. And like, you think that's happening?
I mean, I don't know. If you're watching the entire game film every single week, fuck, that would suck.
No chance.
No chance.
Feels like a waste of time.
Bidwell probably watches 3 plays. He's like, all right, fuck it, never mind. I hired you for a reason.
Yeah.
I'll get out of here now.
I mean,
Go fly my plane.
I think what most owners do is they sit around in the staff meetings and they like either sit up there and they take part the whole time, or they watch from the corner and everyone's just on edge and nervous the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
It's like when a teacher has to teach and the principal comes in and has to
Sits in the
watch
back
them.
with their little notepad.
Bingo. Just be evaluating today.
Imagine how different you are teaching when that's the case. If you're being supervised by somebody like that.
Well, if you're a good teacher, you're not doing.
Don't even care, right? You
Yeah.
don't even see them, right?
This is my fucking classroom.
You get them out. You kick that
their ass
principal
down.
out.
You shut up. And you learn something today.
Well said. Everybody, take 5. We'll see you later.
Bye.
From Houston.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah.
That's long. That's a long. I can't do that. That is way too long. Nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Go dogs. Go dogs. Go dogs.
Yeah, better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You.
This
show, we went to Knoxville for the Florida game, and I picked Florida.
You did.
And Tennessee won.
Yes, you did.
Then we went to Knoxville again. A couple weeks later, they played Alabama, and I picked Alabama,
You sure
and Tennessee
did.
won. And everyone's telling me on Twitter, make sure you pick Georgia to win.
Right.
Guess what?
What?
I'm picking Tennessee.
Keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah, better move out the way, cause I'm coming with.
Hey, they don't mess around in the SEC. Baton Rouge, they're serious. Sure.
Loaded up, ready to go.
These boys will get us there.
Hard it hits, my head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the housing. Woo! Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Watch out, get ahead. Woo! Watch out, set it up. Bet you I shut it down. Watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm aligned with the one up on the cage. I need all the wins. Yeah. Ain't no L's. I gotta get it, no call it quits. Yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets. Yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with hard it hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. What just happened?
We just stumbled into the game of the year.
Oh my God.
You're 10 years old. You want to do this for a living. You want to capture the excitement of a live game for people who are excited to watch it. That is what you dream about. Wow, that was fun.
I ain't gonna just say two words. Brian Kelly. Like the call of the year. Here they are now. They just beat Alabama. Call of the year to get there. At Arkansas, at A&M. This team, if they keep their bearings, don't start to celebrate. This team's going to effing Atlanta.
Does Josh Allen's injury bring the Buffalo Bills down a notch?
Unquestionably, right? Because he is their run game, right? They try to make changes. Who knows what's going to happen, right? Hopefully he can come back, but a UCL injury is nothing to take lightly on your throwing hand, and I'm sure he's going to try and tough it out. If he can't go, that's why they went out and made a trade for Case Keenum. They have Matt Barkley on the roster. They can weather the storm, but they are far cry from who they are going to be if you take Josh Allen off of that offense and off of that team.
That hit looked ugly, man. I mean, listen, you see like balls get hit at the end of a play, right? But when you see that arm and full whip do that, it's like, oh man, I hope the best for him.
You're right, and we've seen it before, right? Guys can go out and finish games like, well, if you can throw the ball as far as he did to end the game, then he can still go out and play. No, adrenaline, all of these things, when that pain, that soreness, all of that sets in, it's a whole different mindset. And you just don't know, and hopefully he can play. Hopefully it's something minor. If it's not, though, you got to be smart. That is the franchise moving forward, and if you've got to take a step back and say, this year, it's not worth it for the longevity of his career.
Why? Let's go!
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Here we go, hour 3, the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk, sitting in for Pat as he is in Austin, Texas for game day, like always on Fridays here in the FanDuel Thunderdome. Football! Woo! We did it again, boys, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Boston Connor Todd Schmidt Tone Diggs here. We're starting this hour 3 out with a bang. We have obviously a little costume change for anyone that's paid attention to this program. We usually in this third hour, we start this off with our guy Tone Diggs has a little segment here because this guy is a budding superstar all over the internet with a cowboy hat on and an unbelievable campaign he has right now with Twisted Tea. So why don't you tell us what we're doing here today?
Yeah,
Diggs?
it's Friday and it's the third hour, so it's time to get a little twisted.
Oh, keep it twisted!
I like the change that we did with this little campaign.
What do you mean?
Where on Wednesdays we now show the CFP top 10 with hashtag PMS Twisted Tea CFP, and we have people guess on Wednesday what 2 teams they think I should be twisting.
Which teams you twisted?
Well said, you really keep painting a picture with your words, Diggs.
I'm getting a little twisted because these twisted teas are 5% ABV.
Wow.
And they taste delicious because they're made with real tea.
What?
He's not kidding. It's real brewed tea.
Yeah, it is fucking good.
No, is there like a hashtag or something people need to do? Like,
No, they
what do
already
we do?
did that on Wednesday.
How do we get involved then?
They already did that on
What's
Wednesday.
your call to action?
Here's my call to action. Before we do the reveal, FanDuel is also partnering with Twisted Tea. They got a FanDuel free pick'em contest. You go to the FanDuel Sports app or the FanDuel Sportsbook app or the FanDuel Fantasy app and enter the Twisted Tea pick'em contest for $20,000 in prizes there, okay?
Okay, sounds great.
But
then what?
Time for the reveal.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Ready, H?
Can't wait.
Roll,
Can't
please.
wait.
Whoa.
Ooh, Tony.
Did you did 5 to 6, 6 to 7, or 5 to 6, 6 to 5?
Yeah.
Just like last week was 4 to 5, 5 to 4.
Yeah.
You're really keeping this thing twisted, man.
Yeah,
you're freaking me out here with all this action.
Yeah, really stickler.
Did Twisted Tea have any idea when they started this campaign that it was going to get this twisted and this crazy?
I said I'm fucking sick of the SEC East Coast bias,
Whoa.
okay?
Yeah, Bruce.
Take me up to the Pacific Northwest and give me the Ducks at number 5 and Tennessee at number 6, okay?
What do you say to the people that say Bo Nix couldn't cut in the SEC?
Yeah, Bo Nix didn't have a good coach.
Oh, you talking?
Well said.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I have to say about that.
Respect that.
Now that he's letting his duck wings fly and spread, it's taking off.
I like it. Anything else we need to put a bow on this twisted situation?
Nope, that's about it.
Is that it? Okay, good. I mean, PMS Twisted Tea CFB, right?
Yeah.
Wednesday we will go over the next rankings, right? And then you're going to figure out something to twist and throw us off by next Friday.
Yeah, and don't forget, go to FanDuel Sportsbook or FanDuel Fantasy app, 20,000 in prizes for a Twisted Tea Pick'em contest.
And winners will be announced on Wednesday. Can't forget that.
Yes, winners announced on Wednesday. Can't wait. Thank you to Twisted Tea and Tone for putting that together. I wanted to see, Evie, we might have a little clip of Mike Florio. So he was on another show. I don't know exactly. I want to make sure we give everybody the right shout-outs if it was their show or their program, which we will see once we pop it up. I know Evie's giving me a thumbs up like we have it here. So whose show was this
The
on?
Sports Talkers Podcast.
Okay, so he was a guest.
With Steve Strong.
Yes, so he was a guest. He was doing this as a guest on a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he didn't share this own story on his own platform or show that he has.
No, this guy just asked
which is
him.
nice of him, I guess.
Yeah, he asked a great question, and that's what Steve Strong does.
Okay, let's hear what Mike Florio has to say here. Evie, thank you.
I am interested to know the most upset a player or coach has been at you. I know some of it is public with Richard Sherman, but is there any other that stick out?
Great question.
The night that the Vikings extended Kirk Cousins again, and I feel horrible, awful, indescribable, unimaginable pain that Mike Zimmer's gone through the last week with the passing of his son Adam. I mean, I cannot comprehend.
Yeah.
No matter how old your child is, I cannot comprehend what he's been dealing with. But that night in March of this year, right about the time at the start of free agency, he started sending me some texts, and they were not nice. And and look, he got some stuff off his chest. He thought that I was responsible for getting him fired.
Like a catalyst.
Or at least I started the groundswell. That and you know, at a certain point, you can only take so much before you push back. And so it was spirited, to say the least. And we both said what we had to say.
Hold on. So, wait, Florio is saying he could only take so much from Mike Zimmer before he pushed back?
Yeah.
I thought it was Mike Zimmer could only read so much garbage about himself before he pushed back to Florio.
No, Florio flew out to where Zimmer was at and fist fought him. He
Holy
said, "Hey,
smokes, who won?
Front yard, let's go. Me, you, right now. Let's fucking do it."
That's. I mean, it's a throwback. It's like it used to happen back in the day. Okay, meet me at the park at midnight.
Yeah,
Exactly. Nobody's with you, and you bring 30 people that hide in the woods.
Yeah, and it just so happened that Zimmer spit some beech nut in his eye and then shot for a takedown, and that was that. That was the end of it.
So that's why Zimmer hurt his eye, though, right? Because Florio caught him with a
right
left
cross.
hook.
Oh, was it a left hook?
Yeah, I believe the right cross skimmed his jaw, but the left hook
landed
the one
flush.
that got him on his eye.
You're right. That is what I saw too. That was the rumor that I heard on the internet. So, but what did Florio do? What exactly did Florio say and do to get Mike Zimmer fired? What does he think this?
Well, he's a big-time Vikings fan, and I think he was just talking about how, everything was getting stale with that. I don't remember specifics back then, but, I mean, shit, he runs his own blog, so, and if he's a Vikings fan, he is an NFL guy, but, I mean, if he still has allegiance to them and you start writing a couple negative things about Zimmer, you could see how, especially, Pat has said how a lot of coaches and stuff like that in the NFL, like, those guys keep up with Pro Football Talk. They kind of know what's going on, what's being said on there, so you could see how things get back to Zimmer, and eventually he's like, fuck this guy. He's trying to get me fired.
So when did Kirk sign this? Like, when would these texts have happened? Was this past March?
Yeah, if it was when he got fired, it was probably
It was so shortly after
he said he said of this past year.
Yeah, Zimmer had already been fired before he started sending these texts, right?
Yeah, and didn't Kirk get extended with Kwesi and O'Connell?
And so that triggered Zimmer that, hey, I'm going to go after Florio because Kirk just got extended?
Must have.
I guess. And I would have figured that last offseason when, their beef it felt like was at the peak and, they hated each other. And then there was that news about how they finally were meeting every week, right, to go over film and what the other teams are trying to do to Kirk. And,
it did not seem like they were getting along that well.
No, because there was that whole sideline thing, too, where they won and they punched each other.
Yeah. Well, it all started with the whole Zimmer was very public about the COVID deal, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he say what are you doing? You're hurting the team, right? If you don't get vaccinated, wasn't he on one of that
pretty much. You just saying how our guy, we can't even meet with him because he he's got to be away from the team because he's not vaccinated, et cetera, etc. etc.
etc. I don't know. I wonder how many interactions has Florio had with Zimmer before that? Did Zimmer always text him or just out of the blue and they start going back and forth at each other? And I would love to read these texts. Spirited how? Yeah. How spirited? How personal did it get? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, if you know anything about Zimmer just from watching him, he's a mean cuss who you
play under him?
I did not know, but I came in to Cincy right after he had been gone for a little bit, but those guys, a lot of the guys that were there loved him. Defensive guys.
Paul Gunther.
Loved him. Yeah, Paul Gunther was was the D coordinator when I got there, but he was with Zim. He was Zim's guy. Yeah, that's how it works. Players love playing for him, but they said he's one of those guys where people would tell stories all the time throughout the year, like Zimmer stories of how hard he was on him, how tough he was, but also how great he was. That's the best ones, where they're super hard on you, they hold you to a super high standard, you're almost kind of scared around them, but then the dude pats you on the shoulder one time and tells you you're not terrible. It's like the greatest day of your life.
Yeah, he's one of those success guys too. It's not like they were terrible in Minnesota for every single year he was there.
No, how many years was he there? He had a good little run.
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah, 7 or something like that. I mean, the writing was kind of on the wall though because he's a defensive guy and the defense hadn't been that great in recent history, and they started getting all these offensive pieces and were kind of moving towards a more explosive offense, and everyone thought he was the one that was kind of holding things back.
Yeah,
and look how it turned out they went and got an offensive guy and they're fucking 7-1.
Look at him now. Yeah,
it kind of, even though a lot of the time sometimes it's bullshit what people say about how they were holding him back and maybe it wasn't true, but it was definitely the right decision to move on from him and let's go all in on the offense. I mean, shit, look what they did with TJ Hawkinson. Was there ever a time where
they would have done that?
The Zimmer run? No, I don't think there was.
Was Rick Spielman? Was he the GM for the most of the time in Minnesota?
I think so.
With Zimmer,
I believe so. And they
went to
they went to the NFC Championship that year against the Vikings against the Eagles, when it was the whole Minneapolis Miracle. But I don't think, at least, or actually I don't think, I know that there hasn't been any problems thus far with players in the Vikings. Whereas with Zimmer, the Stephon Diggs thing, that entire fiasco happened, and they had to get rid of him.
There was a lot of little things that built up over time. I mean, any NFL team, there will be things if you spend any kind of time there as the head coach, though.
Well, it's like the same thing with McCarthy in Green Bay. I mean, everything was awesome. He won a Super Bowl early on there, and when you were playing too, you guys were good every year, and then towards the end of it, things just kind of got stale. And then if it's not working, and eventually it's all gonna blow up, and guys are gonna get tired of it, and you need a fresh voice.
Could you imagine that offense, though, if they still had Stephon Diggs? If it was Stephon Diggs, T.J. Hawkinson, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and Dalvin Cook. It'd be like one of the greatest offenses of all time.
Good luck keeping everybody happy, Kirk. That's the thing, I think.
True.
Eventually. I mean, you're not going to blame Kirk, but it's true. Like, when you have multiple guys that pretty much feel like they're number one receiver, it puts some pressure on that QB, I think, to spread it around.
Yeah, and Kirk also, he had a tough little run there too, right? He had a different OC for 4 years straight. Like, it was because they kept on getting hired. Stefanski was one of them, and I forget who was before that.
It also helps when the vet in like the receiver room is a guy like Thielen who is not selfish.
Him and Jefferson seem to be like super tight too. Thielen and Jefferson. There could be like sometimes if a young superstar comes in and Thielen's the dude, like there's weird animosity where there's like jealousy situations, and we haven't seen an ounce of that. We know Thielen's a special dude.
Yeah, for sure. But like also like just look at his stats. Like he's still impacting the game, but like he used to be a gopher. I mean, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but he had like 7 consecutive games where he had over 100 yards. Like he's in that sweet spot. Like he's catching 5 balls for 30 some yards like every week now, it seems like, and the touchdowns aren't there. But also I mean he's come on here and said before like, we're winning. I want to win. I don't give a shit if I'm I'm not having a 1,200 yard season, and that's very rare, obviously.
Dalvin Cook is so good. I feel like we should talk about him more. I feel like he goes overlooked at times how good Dalvin Cook is. What did Vaughn say about him? Vaughn said something, I think he said something, a good term. I was like, hey, you never, when he touched
every time.
Yeah, he said something about a home run, but how he used it made so much sense. Like, you got Dalvin Cook is basically like at any moment, you get the ball in his hands, it doesn't matter. He can go to the house.
Yeah, and he's a 3-down back. Like, he can catch the ball really well, too. And I feel like especially now, so many teams, the Bills being one of them, they use multiple running backs. And the Vikings still use Alexander Madison, his backup. He still gets time, but Dalvin Cook is, a 1, 2, 3 down back. And, like, I don't know how many teams are still doing that.
I was wondering, as you were saying that, is there any teams that really are using like one kind of a primary guy?
The Titans, but even they use Hilliard on third down sometimes. Like it really seems like every single team has at least 2 running backs that they go to.
Well, yeah, you kind of have to. I feel like, well, you don't have to, but it's just there is a lot. I'm trying to think, like when you put the pass protection in, like when young guys, they always say when young running backs come in and they try to, running the ball is kind of instincts and feel and patience and all that, but the pass protections are what's so tough. If Ty, you watch the Packers play, third down, we put John Kuhn in a lot as our back because he was so smart and knew all the pass protection so well that he was so valuable for us, I think.
And that's why Aaron loves Jamal Williams so much too, because like you could rely on him, and he was really like we have Aaron Jones, so like you're very rarely are you going to be like the featured guy getting a bunch of touches. But when he was in the game, he was expected to like, hey, you're going to have to be picking up blitzes and hanging tough back there, and if you don't, you're never going to fucking play.
We got 250-pound dudes blitzing downhill through the A gap, and it's on you. You have to step up, and that's your responsibility.
And he always did, and that's why Aaron loved him, and that's why he stayed in Green Bay for as long as he did.
Yeah. A lot of coaches don't, or I shouldn't say a lot, some coaches, I've seen some running back coaches that don't let their running backs cut. They're like anybody.
Oh, really?
And then I've heard other running backs say, well, if I'm one-on-one on a D end in some space, it's okay at times to cut. But if I don't get him down, like I'm kicked off the team. Like you can't cut dudes. I'm like, well, you got to do blitz and A gap straight downhill. You got to figure something out because even if you're 300 pounds, like he's still going to run your ass over most likely if you meet him right there.
Yeah.
Ty knows.
I know. Shit.
We know you know.
It's that cold in Lambeau too? Frozen tundra?
What's it supposed to be? Aaron said it's supposed to get a little bit cold. It's not going to be frozen though, is it?
30s to be honest.
No, there's a cold front coming to the Midwest this weekend.
It's cold,
so I assume,
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Might a little bit. I drove through a monsoon to get here. There's a monsoon in Ohio on the way here.
Lucky it wasn't snow.
High 37.
I don't know. I kind of like
37.
snow.
There you go.
And to Ty's point, I forget who said it. It is going to be dark at like 4 o'clock because they're so far east on that central time zone.
It'd be a cool atmosphere. I mean, Big Mike, they're going to have some kind of Jumbotron thing, won't they?
Yeah.
When do they run that? Like, when do NFL?
Halftime?
Probably before the game, right?
Before, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe a little, just like a quick, like 20-second tribute video.
What if
Thank you, Mike?
It starts snowing?
We love you, Mike.
Because don't you guys come out of the tunnel and then it goes to a commercial break? Normally, you guys have like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, so maybe right after
coin
both
toss.
teams run out.
Yeah.
Right after the anthem.
And that's usually where like you'd huddle the guys up and give like
I would dance.
fuck-
No,
This is
I get
what we
in the middle.
freaking work for.
I get in the middle and I see walking stuff and everyone
Yep.
gets jacked.
Yep.
I'm AJ Hawk. You
You
don't just play for me. You play for your family.
It's about, when we go out there one play at a
Where
time,
my
like all the
dogs at?
cliches.
Do your oil checks.
Yeah, check your oil, check everybody's oil, and then get out there.
What was your pregame routine?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
I didn't really have one, honestly.
Did you have headphones on?
I
What
would
was your
listen to stuff.
pregame meal?
I didn't really have anything
Nails,
specific. Since
no milk.
You're playing. It's early. I just eat a big old plate of eggs, usually. That was my most likely. But then if we played in the afternoon or at night and it was more of lunch food, I would eat a couple pieces of chicken and a
gummy
plate
bears
of eggs.
and chocolate.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the best players, that's what they're eating.
Yeah.
So I wish
Baked
that'd be
ham.
nice, wouldn't it?
What did you do anything pregame every single time? Did you have any rituals or were you not?
No, I never really had any rituals or anything because I was always worried, like, well, what if I don't do it once, or I don't want to have to remember to do anything special. I always I like to tape my own wrist and I would spat my own cleats. Usually, game days I would let trainers do it.
Well, don't you have a photo of Pistol too? And every
What?
day you would say, "I will not let you down today."
My father.
Yeah.
It was actually taped to the inside of my helmet, so I just had to peek up. I could peek up there and look sometimes if I was playing bad. And I'd be like, oh man, I'm a 30-something-year-old man with kids, but I'm scared that my dad's going to beat me when I get home after this game.
Well, you used to do the Latimer with Brady Papinga, right? You guys
Spitting
spit in each other's mouths in the locker room.
Hit shoulder. No, we started in the locker room, then we wanted to get some more pub for it, so we went out on the 50 and we would do it
Sure.
and try to get fans to join in and do it too. And we got a few people to join in.
And I know you used to always look at them in the mirror before the game and just yell, "Seat at the table! Seat at the table!"
Yeah, then I would usually like headbutt the mirror and
Yep.
it would,
Yeah.
bloody my head, and
Right.
so I can go out to the game first snap. I got blood dripping down my face.
Were you
Oh, the
nervous?
team's scared.
Were you nervous when you cut your hair that you weren't going to be good at football anymore? Like,
You know how many people try to say that? I don't even know the whole Samson story or whatever, but a lot of people told me that, yeah. I said, no, I'm not.
is that why Clay Matthews never cut it though? Because he was like, Jesus.
Well, Clay's making a lot of money off his hair.
Yeah, Pantene Pro V.
Yeah, Clay's making cash off his hair.
You didn't make it. You didn't have a deal with Head and Shoulders.
I didn't do any Head and Shoulders or Pantene Pro V. No, Clay had that nice, beautiful hair. Like, I had long, ratty, like
It was a bit ratty,
front
yeah.
hair. Like,
Yeah.
like
Steel
working
mail
class.
hair.
Yeah.
What year did you cut?
Rust Belt. I don't know. 2012 maybe?
You know exactly.
After the
I
Super
don't
Bowl?
actually. Yeah, it was after the Super Bowl. Look at that weird.
Man, what a great picture of you on the right.
Perfect
Do
picture.
you still have that hair? Didn't you save it? And
No, we sent it away, bro. It's our foundation
love,
started
dude.
out. We were
Is your
making
right
wigs for
hand
kids.
fake right there?
With my right hand, why?
Your right hand just looks like way too big for your
It
body.
does
in
look
that
too big,
picture.
doesn't
That's a Hulk hand.
It's a
that you
Hulk
painted
hand.
flesh
Yeah.
colored.
I mean, what a terrible picture.
What are you
What
talking
do you
about?
mean? That's a sweet photo. And you
I
got
mean, who
your
cares?
Young and Relentless shirt on.
What is that? No, that's Clinch Gear. I had a Clinch Gear. That was a MMA brand I had to deal with. Yeah, those guys are great.
That was Young and Reckless, not Relentless.
Young and Reckless. That was drama.
Yeah.
What is he? Is he still doing it?
You're goddamn right. He's still doing
Rob
it.
Dyrdek's cousin.
Is the sun still coming up?
Kettering, Ohio.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, they're Ohio guys?
Kettering. He's from the rival high school.
Sloan Kettering.
Sloan Kettering. Yeah. What about it?
Still got high with her one time.
Me and Johnny Hopkins. It's a Step Brothers thing. That is sweet, though.
I know, Con. I was just looking in your
No, you
direction.
don't.
You don't think I've seen Step Brothers?
I don't know
You
what
can't tell
you've
which
seen.
direction you're looking at.
I could tell.
Sorry about it.
Honestly, if you said you've never seen a movie in your entire life, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Because you never had a donut.
I have Bill's Donuts, Centerville, Ohio staple, famous for donuts.
You
Ask
just say
Kirk.
that. You just say that because you had
Sprinkles.
to deal
I
with
only eat Ohio
Because I
donuts.
don't sit here and I'm not a dancing clown for you because eat a donut. You just box of donuts and car. Eat a donut. Eat a pizza.
Yeah,
You said you were
you've never
dancing
seen it.
bear once, though.
What does that mean?
You said one time I did the dancing bear. So
What would that entail?
It's a website.
What's the website do?
It's
It's a suck site. Stay away.
It's a suck site?
I think it's for.
Is that what they it's classify that?
It's bachelorette parties.
Bachelorette parties. So that means, hold on. Bachelorette party means dudes are dancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Where's the bear?
Dancing.
Hence the suck site.
So wait, this. All right.
We don't need to get
Explain
into
that.
details.
We don't have to get into detail.
No, we
with that,
don't.
Z, but I guess Z, you cleared it up for me though.
Hey,
you
Tom.
really did.
Yep.
I don't think that'd be my specialty, Nick. I'm not a great dancer. It's not my thing. What about you with those fingerless gloves?
I don't
bet
dance
you're
well.
getting recruited on the reg. Can't even see him in these shades.
Yeah, no, you can see him on the screen.
What a creep.
for people who have hand problems, for old people who have arthritis.
Yeah.
So, like, if I have, trust me, my hands feel awful and my wrist. If I wear those, let's say I do have.
Your fingers will get straight.
I have,
It will help.
I have a lot of, like, say you have arthritis. If I'm an old lady, I just got to say, okay, I might feel a little bit better, but I'm going to be Nick Maraldo the rest of my life with these black fingerless gloves on.
Those old ladies could only be so lucky.
Yeah, it cycles your blood.
Was it Big J Okerson, the comedian, wears fingerless gloves, or used to wear them? I don't know if he still does.
I don't know. I remember you saying there was you were trying to think of that last week and you couldn't.
I
Is
know
that who it was. You found
Yeah.
out?
Yes.
You did.
Oh, got it. It's right here.
Nice.
Big
Fun.
J Okerson.
No idea who that is.
You don't know the comedian? I see. You never know with you, Con.
Yeah.
You never know if you've heard of him, if you haven't heard of him. You're only 27, 26?
Mm-hmm.
But you have seen some movies, though, that are older people see, which is a bit surprising. How have you seen these older movies?
I'm like the youngest cousin, so a lot of cousins.
are you?
Yeah, a lot of cousins.
That makes sense. I'm one of the youngest cousins, too, with a bunch of
Yeah, but
them.
he's
Big
never
Catholic
seen
family.
He's never seen Backdraft, which
That's like early 90s, though. There he is. There you go, Nick.
That's not Okerson. That's me.
Well, look at that. I mean, I don't know if he still wears the gloves or not.
What's it say?
I
on
mean,
his-
those aren't Copperfit. Those are just CVS specials he cut the fingies off of. These
know.
bad boys will keep you ionized, stabilized, and high and dry.
Does that forearm tat say forbidden in heaven?
Yeah.
I think it does look like it says
forbidden by heaven. Okay.
no,
No, it looks like
in.
IN. Forbidden in heaven, really?
I do know. I'm not sure if he is Jewish, but if a Jewish person gets a tattoo, they're not allowed in the cemetery.
Is that real? That
In
is
a Jewish
real, right?
cemetery,
Is
I
that like that's like a known thing?
They're not allowed in the cemetery or heaven.
I don't know about heaven, but
I mean,
know
you can't
it's
get
the
buried in a
cemetery.
You can't get buried in a Jewish cemetery. Is
I
that what you're
believe
saying?
so.
Can they walk into
I'm
it?
82% right on this one.
Pretty
It's
high.
probably high.
That's a B minus.
What in Big J's forearm tat made you think of that?
Yeah.
C's in some schools.
I mean, that would. I guess that'd be tough. I have a tattoo on my finger for my ring. I guess so. I can't.
See ya.
Can I go in I mean, Catholic cemetery? Would I get
No.
buried
You're in
in?
the Catholicism.
I want to get burned.
You're a vampire.
I wanna
So it doesn't
burn.
matter. You'll
You want
never
what?
die.
I want to get burned.
Cremated?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't actually. I don't think. I don't know.
No, you said you wanted to get cremated so that they could spread your ashes at Buckeye Stadium.
You think? Should I do that?
That's what you
That'd be
said. I
awesome.
don't know if you should.
If you
No,
were
do
true
what you
Buckeye,
want.
you would.
Pistol. My dad has like a plan. I guess he wants us to take him everywhere.
Oh,
Whenever he
really?
does.
Where'd you
Yeah.
want to go?
I don't even know. Like all these cool spots. I guess. I think he just thinks it'll be a cool way too to. It's
Get
another way to
fam
bring your family
together.
together. Yeah. Go dump dad's ashes
Remember
all over
me.
the earth.
Yep. Yeah, I thought he wanted to go to fucking Normandy where he took out 18 different turrets. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, he's pretty old, huh? If he's doing that.
I mean, someone who can't age like your father isn't that old.
I think Pistol. Yeah, I think he's aged, but he's playing golf a little bit. He can hit the ball like 150 yards now with his driver. So
It's
he's
not
doing
bad.
well.
Is he hitting it straight, though?
Nope. So it doesn't. It's great. Not only if you hit it offline, if you don't hit it far, at least hit it really far offline and hit a big sweeping left-handed slice.
Mm-hmm.
So then you always have that good angle coming in for your second shot. If it's a 400-yard hole, you have about 315 left from the left woods, right? Isn't that
right.
what you're trying to do? Get a good
pretty
punch,
much. Yeah,
get a good punch, and hopefully walk out of there with a triple or a quad.
That's what we're
Call it a
playing
day.
for.
That's golf.
Who doesn't play golf right now is Cliff Kingsbury. You guys know that?
Uh-huh.
Probably not with this schedule he's got going on. I mentioned it before as a little tease to you, Ty. Diggs, what do you think? Cliff Kingsbury and Vance Joseph. Vance Joseph is the D coordinator there. They say they watch film with Michael Bidwell every single week, so I assume there's a time they sit there. And we do have Evie, we got a clip here. We can run this of Cliff. Cool. Thank you for potting up. Here's Cliff Kingsbury.
It was great communication. We sit with Michael and watch the film, BJ and I, every week, and so he has a great understanding of what we're trying to do and where we're falling short, and we take ownership for what we need to take ownership for and say what we're going to do moving forward. So the communication has been clear, and everybody's been great. I'm not sure how that goes other places. I've heard different people do it different ways, but it's been great for I think BJ and I to be able to show what we're trying to do. Here's the plan going forward, and here's how we're going to try to get this thing right.
Because then,
Okay, good answer by Cliff, actually saying it's been good for us because we can try to explain to Bidwell what the plan is.
it's not my fault. It's players.
Yeah, maybe it is. Is that what's going on? He's like, hey,
Could be.
listen,
I would be.
we said coming into this game, we get third and medium. We know that they're going to bring this pressure. We got this couple plays drawn up. Look, here it is. Oh, here's the clip in practice of it working against this look. Game comes. Yep, player's not executing. I guess, is that what's going on, you think?
I mean, what's he saying? Like, you see this guy? Shouldn't have paid him. Sorry. I know it's
real?
quarterback.
How honest are you?
Shouldn't have paid the quarterback.
That's got
You
to be.
didn't want to hear it from me, though. Cliff looks tired.
Look at him. He
I
looks
know, man.
pissed.
He looks fucking tired.
Look, when you
'cause he's-
stopped it right there, he does look
Because he's spending an
pissed.
extra 4 or 5 hours a week going over film with the owner when he could be doing other stuff.
It honestly, Diggs, it might be longer than 4 or 5 hours a week. If it's multiple days, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Well, especially when you get extended. Like, and this is supposed to be not their year. I don't know if anyone was like, "Hey, the Cardinals are definitely going to win the Super Bowl," but they were supposed to be in some sort of contention, and they are bad. Like, they are just not good. They got killed at home last week. Like, it was 31-21 was the final, but they had a pick six, right? So the offense scored 14 points. Like, they just aren't a good football team right now. And granted, before the season started, obviously you knew DeAndre Hopkins was going to be out, but you get Hollywood Brown, and you think, okay, week 7, if we're still kind of above water, we get DeAndre Hopkins back, and then we have a full offense to go, and then week 5, Hollywood Brown gets hurt, so then you're losing him for 4 to 6 weeks, and you're not going to have that full offense now until week 12. Like, it's tough, but when you see how bad the Rams are, and then you think about the Niners being 4-4,
they're not out of it. I mean, that's what's crazy, are they?
Kinda. I mean. They should be.
I guess we technically can say a lot of people aren't out of it, but
Right.
it doesn't feel like it feels like a really, really long road back. I guess at 3-6 for the Cardinals at the bottom of the NFC West, but technically they're not out of it.
Yeah, I doubt anybody in that organization thought that they would be 3-6 though. Like at least
the Rams are 3-5. Who thought the Rams would be 3-5?
Yeah. Well, also the Cardinals, I don't know if this is actually the case, but they just seem like the shining example of like a team that just like doesn't like each other. Like they just that locker room, like
doesn't it look like now the Hard Knocks situation they're doing in season is going to expose that a little bit too, even though do they have final say? It didn't look like the clips I saw, D-Hop asking Kyler what's going on, then Cliff has to talk to the whole offense. Like, you don't want that to continue. You got to figure that out.
they do have final say, which is why I think it's going to be,
Yeah, we won't see anything then.
No.
Well, but I don't know.
Even that, though, the fact that they put that out of D-Hop, like, what the hell are you looking at? Like, didn't he say that to Kyler? And they didn't, like, it wasn't crazy. It was somewhat normal, but you could tell, like, that could get very heated.
Well, and they still, like, Hard Knocks still has to fill, like, a 55-minute block on HBO. Like, they still have an obligation there. So it's like if they keep losing, like, it's not like they can turn in, like, hey, episode this week's only 22 minutes. It's like, no, we need another 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no commercials. So it's like.
Oh, man, there's so much footage they had to find a way to piece something positive together.
Exactly.
If they continue to lose.
And if you can't, I think that is what happens. I think it's like, all right, well, we just got to put out there what we have, and if most of it is negative, like, so be it. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, and how many other teams do you think that they had like on the docket as like
are
the
doing
finalists?
much better than the Cardinals?
Yeah,
right
like
now?
I wonder if they had the Vikings or the Jets or the Chargers, and they were like, you know what? No, the Cardinals should be there. They just extended their quarterback. Let's go with them. Or even the Niners. Like that must
I would
suck
love
too,
to see
but-
the Niners. I'd like to see how that works behind. I'd like to see John Lynch interact with the players. I'd like to see McCaffrey gets traded over, Jimmy
Shanahan.
G, everything. Shanahan would give you great sound bites every single day. I don't know how much in that episode did Cliff do like the confessional speaking to the camera where they ask him questions and he's talking?
I'm not sure.
For a good 15 minutes.
Okay, because I would imagine knowing like how Cliff is and seeing him, like he's all ball all the time. I doubt he has much patience to sit down and get asked about all these questions on top of his normal media obligations.
So it was basically him walking around his house was like the biggest part of it.
Okay.
Well, and that's the other thing too.
Like, what day of the week is that? When is a coach ever at his house, let alone walking around his house? Probably Friday nights.
Yeah.
You get it. Friday is usually the day where coaches would go like pick their kids up from school or something.
He talks about it. He goes like, oh, this is the first time I've been in my house when it's sunny out and you can see Camelback or what's the one it's called?
Yeah.
Camelback?
Yeah, spot on. He's like, normally I wake up, it's dark, I go to the thing, and I don't see the sun, and then come back, and it's dark again. So at his own home, he never sees the sunlight.
Yeah, and then I go in this dark room and I watch a movie.
Yeah.
If they lose this
Yeah, it was very
weekend, though, if you're not a Cardinals fan, who the fuck is watching Hard Knocks when the team's 3-7?
Yeah.
Like,
Wait.
no one gives a shit.
Is it on HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the Amazon one?
All or nothing.
Yeah.
Is that going on still or no? For
I
somebody?
would guess now that they have.
See, that's
media
sad. I
rights
don't even
again.
know. Like, I wasn't sure if this was an Amazon thing or I know I kept saying Hard Knocks, but I was using like, oh, this version of Hard Knocks. I didn't know if it was.
It is Hard Knocks. Yeah.
Okay, so it's HBO Hard Knocks. Have they been promoting it like this? Yeah, I guess they have. I've seen it promoted.
After all the episodes of Hard Knocks in the in training camp, at the end of those episodes,
They would show like little of Cliff watching film. Right?
Yeah,
That was like the
beyond-
teaser, which
Yeah.
that was cool.
I also believe Keith said they didn't want to like slam it down our throats with a lot of like marketing. They just wanted like one little clip
Oh,
in of every
okay.
episode, stuff like that.
Well, and it doesn't matter how much you market.
People
it,
need
the
to know
team
it's there,
stinks.
though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but the
A
team
lot of
fucking
stuff to
stinks.
watch out there.
Yeah, and like how prevalent is HBO in people's algorithms now too?
I will say HBO's pretty dry right now in general. Not many shows.
What do you mean? Like there's
Like
no
after
not many
like Game
good
of
programs?
Thrones, right? Like I don't know. if
Isn't
there's
the other
anything-
Game of Thrones thing on there?
Yeah, it's
That's
over
what he said,
though.
it's over.
Oh, it's already over. How
Yeah.
many episodes do they have?
10. Well, and also
Righteous Gemstones back.
Is it?
Oh, I tell you what, I like those. I like
I know
that
it's
people
coming
on that
back.
show.
It's coming
It's
back.
a funny show.
You said you still watch the porn on HBO.
The
so-
what?
The,
Is there
the adult films?
HBO
is there
After Dark.
softcore porn? Is there porn on
Yeah.
there? There's
What do
no
you-
like
is
HBO
there?
softcore porn.
Yeah, dude, you watch Red Shoe Diaries all the time.
Boom.
Taxi
Yeah,
Cab
when
Confessions.
kids were 8 years old, they try to find that. Taxi Cab Confessions. That
Real
changed
sex.
the game, didn't it?
Didn't know you were 8 years old.
Are all those things still running? There's no way there's like
Yeah,
a.
you have a VHS, a G-string Divas. You have a whole box.
Yeah.
We know.
It's the only reason I keep my VCR, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Bingo.
And I get. Oh my goodness. There's no way there's
That
no,
VHS is so sticky.
There's no. Why would the tape have anything on it? how would the actual physical tape have
No, the
anything
box.
on it? The actual box.
outside.
Oh, my bad.
Eject!
Because you're looking at the pictures on it while you're, watching it.
You guys are gross.
DVD case is stuck to it.
Laserdisc. You guys remember Laserdisc? Were those the big ones?
Yeah, huge ones. Yep.
The Laserdisc. Well, there was Laserdisc and
What's that?
HD DVD or whatever. They competed, right? Or no, HD DVD with
Blu-ray?
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And then which one? Blu-ray went
Blu-ray
obsolete.
wiped
now
it
they're
out.
both obsolete.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now there's 4K HD.
Yeah. So yeah, there was
8K's on the way.
Was Blu-ray just a different kind of DVD? Because that's what sucked. If you bought something that was a HD DVD, but you
remember.
had a Blu-ray player, you could get screwed on.
Well, that was I think the only way you could watch an HD DVD was like if you had an Xbox 360.
Is it?
And then they had the actual HD DVD players that cost like $1,000 and no one fucking bought them.
And
Because Blu-rays are
now none of it matters. You don't need anything. Everything's linked now.
I have like 600 Blu-rays. Like,
Do you really?
Oh yeah, so many. They're just huge waste of money, but they look cool on a bookshelf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like everyone has they used to have the old school CD towers.
Yep.
Like we
Bingo.
I got 400
were
sweet
sweet.
CDs right here, and the thing would twirl around so
yeah.
you could order it. Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn and old school. No, yeah, that thing's a piece of crap.
Vince Vaughn, I saw him doing something with some soccer player. I don't know what it was. Or no, with Matt Barnes. Something with Barnes. They were over. I don't know where
Barnesies?
yeah, they were doing something, but Vince and him. Vince is a tall dude, man. Vince was
Huge.
I don't know if he
6'6".
was. Is he 6'6"?
I think so, yeah.
How tall is Barnes? 6'8", probably 6'9".
Matt Barnes? Yeah, he's probably
Vince
around
Vaughn
there.
really 6'6", so he
He's
is like a
6'4".
full foot over some people he's acting
Yeah,
with.
he's very, very tall, yeah. He's a very good athlete, actually.
Yeah.
Not a
Is
joke.
he?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. See, I wasn't lying.
Yeah, no.
See,
he's
those guys are
fucking
both
huge.
super tall, but they make Vince is look at that.
Good
Look at his
dap
hair.
up.
Nice dap. What are they doing here? Is this F1 or something?
Talking.
He looks great.
I saw some
NASCAR
mock-ups
It's like
tags.
NASCAR, yeah.
Oh, do you guys see these mock-ups of the Las Vegas F1 race
Yeah,
coming?
that's
The,
awesome.
the bleachers they're going to build right over the fountains.
Bellagio,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
I think it's time to get into it. I really,
Do you have
really
to
try
watch the
not
Netflix
to.
show though? I would imagine you have to watch the Netflix show.
That's what I mean. Get into it by watching the.
Have you
Netflix
tried?
show. No, I haven't tried.
I haven't tried it all. I don't know if I'm going to turn on and be like, oh man, I'm not. This isn't for me. Like I hope it is for me.
I just don't know if I'm ready for another sport.
I'll watch the
know.
golf one. I'll
Oh
definitely
my
watch
goodness,
that.
that should be amazing.
Yeah.
When will that come out?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything
Following,
about
they
it.
following live golfers and PGA, right?
Yeah.
Allegedly, yeah.
And now I hear Greg Norman might get booted as the CEO of Live.
Really?
Why?
They're recruiting the TaylorMade guy to come over and be the next guy.
Yeah.
Why?
But then Liv came out and said none of that's true.
Or
so
Greg
who
might get bumped
knows?
up to like the front office or something. They'd give him some
Right.
other title, I think.
president.
Why would you? I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to be sitting there taking all the bullets for everybody.
Yeah, I
there.
think they're saying Greg's not doing a very good job. Allegedly, that's why they're going to boot him out of there. But then Liv came out and said that we're not booting him out of there, so we'll
course
see how
they're
that
gonna
goes. Yeah.
That's
they
how it
have
always
to say
goes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like what Irsay said about Frank Craig.
Right.
We see Greg rocking around without any fingers or anything like that.
Who?
What?
What?
Greg.
Norman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nick. I don't know if you can get that music going. We're gonna take a quick 5 here. Last break of the program before we get out of here. We got plenty of more little things we got to hit on here after the break. Obviously, make sure anyone that is currently tuned in missed us with Pat in the earlier hour. He will be in Austin, Texas tomorrow, 9 to noon with College Game Day for the TCU Texas football game. Should be amazing. McConaughey will absolutely be there on the sidelines. I would imagine. Who knows? I'm just saying that. I don't know for sure if
be
he's
there.
there or not.
He
He's
better
there for
be.
every big game.
No, he'll be there.
But everybody stay right there. We'll be right back. See you in 5.
Bye.
Tommy, you want to start 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15?
Hell no.
No.
He's not here, Coach.
No, he is.
Oh.
I am here today.
Oh.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate you. We need
45
you.
years old.
Good to see you, Tom. I haven't seen you in a while.
How's everything going, Tom?
Tommy.
Tom, how you been?
Tom, you okay
Tommy,
at home?
I
What's
understand
going
and I
on?
respect.
Where are you playing?
I respect everything
Tom, I
that's
don't
going
normally get
on.
Ready to go war with you, Tom.
I respect everything that's going on.
We ship out at 0800.
Sorry about
Stuff
AB,
that-
Tom.
Family matters to me. Listen up. I care about you guys. I care about your families and the situation at home. But quit bringing that bullshit in here.
Tom, you can talk to me about it. It's okay.
Coach, you guys fucking
Leave it
going
at
through
home.
a lot.
Leave it at home.
His kids hate him, Coach.
I have
the
it.
building.
Thanks.
What hotel you
I'm living
staying
in a
at?
fucking hotel.
That's on you, Coach.
Hotel California?
We're paying
Room
for your
service.
room, and maybe that football karma will switch up on you. Okay, let's go.
Todd came with the
Check
heat
it out.
today.
He's going to release outside. You got to cover me. You don't block me. You cover me.
Let's go.
Okay? Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Did you play some defense?
I'm trying to.
You're an athlete.
Figure
You're
out
one
the
of the
corner of the
best
safety.
athletes in the
You're one of the
country.
two.
And then move your feet. You got
man. It's
three.
the highest level.
I'd call somebody else up here, but it's too much. Okay, so the bunch is here, right? That guy outside release. You got me man to man. Back up. Picture the
Hit him in the balls.
Picture the nickel back here. This guy, we outside release our point man. Three's going to the flat.
Yeah.
Start coming to the flat.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to be looking like he's running around. Okay?
Short week.
You got to help me. You got to help
Short
me.
week.
Dead body on him.
Oh, no. Come on.
I'll be the running back. Running backs, Leonard, you guys, we got 3 points of pressure. You know what they are?
Hell yeah.
Fingertip right over the tip of the ball.
Nip.
2 fingers, all right? Inside the forearm and the rib cage. So when they come to try to peanut punch this thing out, and he does a great job of it, because what he's going to do, he's going to run down the trouble,
Right.
eat up the grass, come to balance,
Right.
start to secure the tackle, and then punch the ball out. Okay? But if we've got the 3 points of pressure on there, forearm, rib cage, tip of the ball, it's not going to happen. You follow me? But he does a great job. If we're coming loose, or we're running down the field, hey, hold up now. Come on now. When that ball's coming here, they're going to come over, fake like they're going to act like they got to secure the tackle here, and then punch it out.
Who's got it?
AJ, it's over. Love the enthusiasm, guys.
This is my first time in Athens, and I'm going to say this place is
Isn't it glorious?
absolutely beautiful.
There it is. There it is.
We had a little drizzle earlier, and you know where I come from. Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey. They make whiskey in Tennessee, so I think the rain is making the whiskey. What? That's being drank all over. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Give me the volunteers, Luke Bryan. Sorry about it, Uga. Tennessee, a team of destiny. In Luke Bryan's fight.
This is the first time with this rivalry. Both teams have been good in a long time. What was your message to the team this year, and essentially an elimination game this week?
Well, hunt with a purpose. That's the biggest thing, is we want to go out and play aggressive. They're coming to our house. We had to go to their place last year, and it was wild and crazy. We want it to be crazy today. We want them to affect the game, and our guys know our best game's ahead of us. So we're hoping it's this one.
Hell yeah, Coach.
Hell yeah.
Legs crossed.
Alan Ryan and Jordan What do we have here? Look at that. Look at this. Go for it. Baloney from this man's grill. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Jordan. No. It's on his nose. It's right on his nose. No, it's everywhere. Bombing from smoke. Oh, my God. Best sandwiches going everywhere.
Last week against NC State.
Oh, no, Bear. Oh, no. No, Bear, a graphic just came up on the screen.
Here's the deal.
I didn't know you had 0-3
Here's the deal. I'm an idiot. I'm terrible.
What's your column record? That's all they need to know.
33 and 16.
33 and 16.
And that's what I'm saying. All these
Dominating.
games early
What's
in the
that?
week that I'm
That's his
writing off,
column
I'm doing
record.
great. By the time I get to Saturday, I'm like talking myself off, picking terrible games. It's terrible. I'm doing a terrible
Get out of your own head, Bear.
I'm a good handicapper and a bad better.
Not a lot of people see the column.
That's what bothers me.
The offense is pretty sophisticated. Here you have a classic bunch set, crack toss to the right. Pin guy, pin and pull. Running back gets out behind. Darnell Washington,
big boy.
6'7", 270. Pick up 15 to 20 yards. Remember, the tight end was lined up right behind the tackle there. Let's flip the side. Same exact formation. What are they going to do? Crack toss, pin and pull. Fake the toss. toss, and it allows a high-low route, which Florida has to operate on, and the best tight end in the country is wide open. It's that type of stuff that they do that the anonymous coach pointed out, that it's high-level football that they've been able to do against everybody.
Attaboy, kid. Nice. Nicely done.
I got
First
a
tape.
little film.
First tape right there. First tape.
I did some football talk.
Mom, look, I did it.
Welcome back to Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat as I do on Fridays here during the season. Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt, Tone Diggs, Evie is back there. Zeke, Gertie, Mitt.
What?
Bruce, I think I didn't mention you earlier. Bruce,
Bill.
Nick Morato's wearing creepy fingerless gloves. Bill is back in the cave coding, YouTube, everything. I don't know if there's anyone else I missed in here. Zeke, I see you smiling. Did I miss somebody?
No, you got everybody.
Good. I'm glad I did. These guys also are trying to learn in the break by reading this one sheet you guys make. You guys are trying to Ron Burgundy and get me to read things that
What?
Try to write something
What
on
do you
this
mean?
sheet like I read it word for word.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. I'm not even gonna get into it. But you guys want me
Well,
to
you
read
just
things
did
that
get
call
into it.
myself.
Yeah.
You just want me to read things and you add things on the end that may be a bit
That's
like
not true.
to slander myself.
Self-deprecating is what you're trying to say.
No, it's not exactly self-deprecating, but I just
Are
do
you
this.
quite quitting right now?
I might be. Am I quite
are
quitting?
you?
I don't know.
Wow.
I might be, Zeke. But I am. What I am trying to do is trying to transition into Con Man, letting us know what this awesome giveaway is going to be. What's the hashtag? What's the giveaway? What are we doing? Tell
Well,
the people.
I hope everyone took your advice and has grabbed a seat and is having fun at home.
I
right
sure
now.
hope
But
so.
The giveaway, as we've done the last couple of weeks, it will be hashtag PMS NFL Week 10 because it's the
Number
10th
10.
week in the NFL season. AJ, please shut up while we talk. Hashtag PMS NFL WEEK 10. The numbers, not the letters, obviously, and then pick a winner. Well, let's see who you think.
Who do you
think
think's
is
going to win? I'm glad they popped this.
Who do I think is going to win this weekend? I think the Titans are going to win in a blowout because I think the Broncos season is over and they barely beat the Jags. So I am 1,000%.
With Russell Wilson at the helm.
Yes.
And a lot of greatness that has been in the past that he has had, a lot of greatness coming in the future. You
Yes.
think the Broncos season is over?
I absolutely do. I don't think that they'll catch the Chargers in the division. They're sure as hell not catching the Chiefs.
Are the Chargers good, though? Do we know if they're good?
They're better than the Broncos because they weren't
Why?
sellers at the trade deadline. They traded away
good
their
point.
best fucking player on defense.
Yeah.
So I am hammering Vrabes and the Titans. They're bounce back after a tough loss in KC overtime game. They can't be too happy. I just was reminded though that Tony right before we came back said the Titans have basically everyone and their mother on the injury report, but no matter.
Doesn't matter
It's a
to you.
Vrabel team.
Doesn't matter to you.
Yeah,
Vrabel. All right. What do you think? Oh, Diggs has. You must
No,
have
I'm saying-
a lock.
No, Simmons is out. Bud Dupree's out. I saw.
Okay.
Wait, Simmons is out?
Players.
I didn't know about this when I made my pick.
Couple good ball
Jeffrey
players.
Simmons is
Just came
with
out.
what?
Let me look at
What happened?
Damn, that's tough.
That
Okay.
changes things a little bit.
That is not going to be my lock then.
Let me look.
I am not going to.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't like to take any spreads over 5.
Oh, is that a
It's too
rule?
easy.
No, it's just you're picking money lines. I'll take Seattle then.
You think that's
Yeah,
a
it
lock?
says,
Yeah, I do.
Jeff Simmons, Amani Hooker, Bud Dupree, Zach Cunningham, and Josh Thompson are
Damn,
out
man.
for Sunday's game.
That's a lot of.
That's
people.
not good, Ty. You have any, what's a lock? You feel good about your Packers team?
No, absolutely not. The Miami Dolphins will be my lock for this week.
Love it.
Dolphins, Browns. Okay, when's Deshaun Watson coming back?
Who cares?
Against the Texans.
13
Week.
against
I mean,
the
I don't, but
Texans.
I'm wondering what's going to happen
Week
when he
13
does.
against Texans.
Are they going to play him?
Probably.
They should.
Yeah.
They'll be way out of the
I
hunt
believe
by
they, yeah.
then.
And he also keeps retweeting people saying like, "Dog, when Deshaun comes back, it's gonna be a movie."
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
He's retweeting like fans of his that are doing that.
Yes.
I should probably follow.
I believe
that.
December 2nd is when he comes back officially. Maybe it's like
So what is that?
less
gonna
than a
be?
month out.
And it's against Houston.
Week
Of course,
14,
right?
yeah.
Yep, against
Of course
Houston.
it is.
In Houston.
In Houston.
Yes.
Man, how is that real?
Well,
How is that a real situation?
you can assume that somehow, some way, the schedule makers could have seen this coming. But sometimes the NFL, that's how it works. Storylines just happen like that.
Diggs.
Yeah.
You got a lock? I know you're the gambling master, obviously.
That's not true.
Is Hammer Down going on today or no?
310.
310. Hammer Down.
Can I see a slate?
Let's see this slate.
Pot
What do
it
you
all.
think?
All right.
Colts,
so
you think maybe lock
do
with Jeff
I
Saturday?
was going to say, I
are we
would
talking
love
about?
to just go against
Egregious.
What's that guy's name for the Browns? Left
Joseph
tackle.
Thomas.
I'd love to go against Joseph Thomas. You know what? Give me the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers.
I knew you were going to.
Tony.
Oh, yeah. Knew you would.
I never
Really?
do that, and I will do that.
You never do what? Pick the Steelers?
No.
No, he really never does. But TJ Watt is back.
They're playing the Saints. Is Andy Dalton still starting for the Saints?
I don't know.
I don't know what's happening.
Is Jameis
there.
healthy?
Yes.
He is.
He was a healthy.
Is he super healthy?
Then what's happening?
Last week. Yeah, he was off the injury report last week. They're just going with Dalton.
I don't understand.
That's why I assumed that. That's what I thought. But I was like, is there something I don't know about?
I don't understand it.
Chuck said when they had that Thursday night game against the Cardinals that they had, 31 points a game with Dalton at the helm. I mean, that's pretty unbelievable. But also, Michael Thomas is out for the season. That's another team whose season's basically
They
over.
are kind of in no man's land because they fucking stink and they traded their first-round pick to the Eagles.
Yeah, I do not like watching the Saints. Nothing against them. They are just not a fun team to watch.
Which is tough to say because for so long they were a very fun team to watch.
Exactly. Speaking of fun teams to watch, the Lions Bears game.
Very fun.
It's going to be a shootout.
I can't wait. Wait, it's going to be a shootout.
It's going to be.
What do you predict the final score, Con Man?
48-45.
Oh, I had 64-62.
Oh, that would be
Let's
sweet.
see who
Pretty
wins.
cool. Yeah, that would be sweet.
Let's see who wins.
I
In
think
Chicago, is there any weather? I know we're big
cold front. Coming
I don't
in.
believe
Mike
so.
effect.
cold front. Cold's okay. Let's see.
It will
Let's
be
see the wind
windy.
in the rain.
Let me go to NFLweather.com.
Grinding Pond NFC North football 24-21. Could be the Bears, could be the Lions. You pick.
No,
it.
it'll be 35 and clear.
Oh, we're good.
10-mile-an-hour winds.
Foxy's crazy if he thinks that the Bears are only scoring 24 or 21
And it's going to be
points.
cold in some places this weekend, but no real precipitation.
Nothing terrible. Okay, good.
Maybe
Man,
some snow in Buffalo.
I was going to say Buffalo might get pretty chilly.
For Case Keenum. Just look at
used to
that. When I look at that right here, 4:05 p.m. I know it's a CBS game. Colts at Raiders, and it's still Jeff Saturday's the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts this week.
So awesome.
I think it's so amazing.
We just got an update from Rap Sheet that Shaq Leonard is not just missing this game; he's being placed on IR.
Jesus,
man. I feel terrible for this dude.
Yeah, that sucks because I didn't think he got hurt during the Patriots game.
No, Wednesday practice setback.
It was a setback at practice, huh?
Well, it sounds like the surgery he had wasn't as successful.
Is that the
as
one
they
he
were
had like in
hoping for.
July?
Yeah, I think so.
More tough news for the Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard, who had a setback with his back in practice. That sucks when it happens in practice. He is headed to injured reserve. Sources say he's out at least the next 4 games, and his evaluations will dictate how much more.
Yeah, and if they're out of
I don't feel good for him coming back at all this year.
No.
Probably no reason. For him to come
Exactly.
back.
Yeah,
They lose-
why come back,
Yeah.
They lose a few more of the next games. How often does that
Sucks.
happen, though, in the NFL?
In practice?
Yeah, guys actually have serious injuries in practice.
I mean,
Is Teddy Bridgewater still the most serious injury of all time?
that was in like training camp. I feel like he like dislocated his kneecap or something
Non-contact.
crazy.
They said they almost needed to amputate his
Oh
leg.
my god,
Crazy.
It's kind of rare in practice for guys to like have like season enders. It sucks though because when it happens, like I've had a few guys get some neck injuries in practice, and that's what sucks when the ambulance comes. Like
Yeah.
I've had that a few times. That's terrible. But usually not. I don't think I've ever seen a dude like pop an Achilles or anything in practice.
Like that Jason Verrett one.
That'd be tough.
I don't know if you wanted to read the sheet, but that Jason Verrett one from practice, that
Read
that
everything.
sounded like really serious.
49ers Jason Verrett tore his Achilles in practice. Okay, yeah, there it is.
What?
That's it.
What?
That's all it says.
What?
Isn't there more to the story?
Is there?
I don't know if there's more to the story. I mean, the players were very upset and visibly shaken by this.
Yeah, Kittle.
A stud like this.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel says that the Niners struggled to finish Wednesday's practice after Jason Verrett went down. The injury took a massive emotional toll on the team because he's coming off an Achilles, right? He's just getting back from another
Yeah,
Achilles.
he was just activated. off
Same
the-
one, or do we know?
I'm not sure if it was the same.
Probably
one.
the other one.
I mean, that is just brutal because
He knows the recovery it takes too.
Yeah, the rehab. That's what I was just
Yeah.
going to say. It's not as if we have any experience with that, but I'm sure you can speak on it.
But you
with
guys,
rehab.
anyone can put themselves in that shoes. Like if you imagine, like you love doing something this much, you're playing football. When it's taken away from you when you're hurt, it's weird. It's awful. It's weird. Just like mentally because you want to be with your dudes. You want to be playing. And then all of a sudden you finally get back. Like this is awesome. I almost forgot what it's like. And to do it right then, that would be that's a tough like.
A similar situation when you burn the top of your mouth eating pizza.
Mm-hmm.
and then you try to go back to eating pizza, and you're like, wow, I can't do it.
like,
Ruins
hey,
the rest of the pie.
Yeah, Z, like, hey, the next,
I don't want to take away from these, obviously, but
no, but like the next piece is still going to be equally as hot in 4 seconds, so you probably should not bite the next piece.
Well, not even that. You have no fucking taste left.
Or if you have just like a hot cup of Joe and you burn the shit out of your tongue and then you just can't taste anything for
like I've seen
2-3
someone
days.
like Starbucks, they give it to you 6,000 degrees. I've watched someone drink it and they were so freaked out it was so hot they just poured it all over their face. And they just poured it everywhere and they had 3rd-degree burns in their face for life now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It happened at McDonald's.
I read it on
They
the
got
internet.
sued. Yeah,
That lady, that was a whole. There's something weird behind that where that's not real either.
Well,
There's
the
something about it,
McMillions
right? Or
thing?
she was truly legit
Dude always tries to
badly
make
burned.
us look at the pictures.
She was badly burned, right?
Oh, yeah.
She wasn't trying to like take advantage of the.
The Wendy's one, I think the lady was taking advantage.
What was that?
right?
Did they say there's like a mouse in my?
There was
fries?
wasn't there a finger? Yeah.
finger
Was it
and
real?
Cup of chili.
Yeah.
It was real.
No, it wasn't real.
Was it a real human finger though?
No, she bought one of like the fingers that you can get at like Spencer's Gifts and put it in
Stop.
there. She did.
It would be a story if she cut someone's finger off and put it in her chili. That'd be a story.
Yeah, and that would probably get her some money.
Ask Bill about that. He'll tell you.
We'll talk later, Bill. After your 30-second delay.
Bill said biting fingers off is as simple as a carrot. You know, you just
Yeah.
got to commit.
Shut up.
That's what.
Like we last week, it's a full circle. What was it? 127 hours. Old buddy sawed his leg off, right?
Yeah, I had to
Arm
cut his arm.
Arm off.
Yeah, James Franco.
I know that guy goes around and gets paid good money to give speeches now too.
Yeah,
I
really?
think he's a very inspirational story.
Yeah. And
Could you
speaking
cut
of-
your arm off?
Could I?
Yeah.
Why would I?
If you needed to live, you were rock climbing, you were spelunking through the desert caves.
Am I definitely going to live if I cut my arm off?
You don't know for sure, but the only way you're definitely going to die sitting there buried alive if you do not cut your arm off.
See, the thing that I have trouble thinking about is if I were to cut my arm off, I would probably pass out and then something would come along and eat me.
Yep.
That's better to die that way than to sit there and just
to get eaten.
Wait, okay, you just want to either I'm going to die because I have no water. Like, is that what you want to die? You'll be there for 6 days.
Yeah, but if I cut my arm off, how do I find water?
You get up
Bill's
and you
here to
walk.
talk about that.
Bill, how tough is it to bite little fingies off?
I don't know about that, but I actually, when you get trained at McDonald's, they tell you you're not supposed to hand the coffee to anyone anymore. You have to set it on the counter, or if you're giving it to them like through the drive-thru, you have to explicitly say like, "Hey, this is very hot. Please be careful."
Oh,
Yeah.
all of that.
And that
just
lady was
protocol.
wearing like a sweatsuit, so it held all that coffee
no,
against her.
it probably like, oh no, it
seeped right in.
Dang. Why are you trying to get people to look at pictures of this?
Oh no, I don't know what he's talking about, but the one I saw, it slept into her lady parts.
Yeah,
and it was all
You say
burnt.
it slept?
Yes.
It slept into her lady parts. What exactly?
Well, the
does
coffee,
that mean?
coffee was a little
Crept.
sleepy and
Yeah.
slept right into it.
It's
Sleepy fingies.
So the hot coffee slept into her lady parts. How much money did she end up getting from all
$10
this?
million.
She made bank.
She better get a bunch. You
Yeah.
get, if you
It's
got,
like $10 million, I thought.
if coffee sleeps right into your lady parts, I better get some money.
the person working the drive-thru went to jail for like 15 years too, I think, because they didn't say fucking hot mud, hot mud.
That's why we always do.
Yep. Who's mud?
Who's mud? Speaking of hashtag PMS NFL Week 10, the number 10. Okay, pick a winner from this weekend. Tweet it out. Probably include your cash tag in there.
Yep.
You know, maybe say something nice to someone because Pat always says it's a good little thing to do to
Yeah.
people, especially as we go into this weekend on a Veterans Day.
Holiday season coming on.
Holiday
season right
season.
around the
It's going to
corner.
get cold. A lot of people don't like the cold. So maybe say, hey, don't forget about how nice it is when it's warm out, or the cold's not that bad. Okay.
Well
Yeah,
said.
that's
Hashtag
well
PMS
said.
NFL Week 10.
Hey, that was well
Hashtag
said.
PMS NFL Week 10, the number 10. Real quick before we get out of here, do you guys watch this FIFA documentary, docuseries?
Not yet.
I've seen a little bit. I think
Is it about
episode and a
Sepp
half.
Blatter?
Sepp Blatter, which I don't know anything about him.
He's
I
a
heard the
crooked
name.
piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a dirtbag.
He's interviewed
right?
throughout it though, which is a good thing. He never went to jail or anything.
No, I don't think so.
So I'm early. I see on the deal. He says the choice of Cutter was a mistake. He said that.
Yeah, he did.
He chose it though.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
In the documentary, the little bit I've seen, he said he never specifically said like, oh, why he chose Cutter, why it happened, but he said like the politics behind. He's like the politics and like the stuff behind the scenes that you don't know about was a big part of it or whatever. I'm like, yeah, because they're giving millions of
Yeah,
dollars.
they
to
fucking
people.
greased his palms. That's how they got it.
And that's been FIFA for a while, right? They're just
Ooh,
like the
yeah.
Olympic
Yes.
committee or whatever.
They
They're
didn't
just
start
like-
out that way from what the documentary sounds like. They started out from it's like a like not even whatever. And then I think Sepp Blatter came in and started helping and
He
really
did.
monetized it. He brought in Coca-Cola and all
Right.
these huge brands.
Because it used to be Alexi Lawless and Kobe Jones were running it together, and then when U.S. Soccer was at the fucking
yeah,
peak.
oh yeah, Alexi Lawless. You can't.
Now we're back, though.
Yeah, now we're back.
And Kobe Jones, yeah.
Kobe Jones was a legend.
Lexi Lawless, he's a goalie, correct?
No.
AJ. No goalie. Tony Miola.
Tony Miola.
Tony Miola.
Alexi Lawless had 18 goals in 2 weeks for Team USA.
Did he? He was playing soccer on a national stage when you were 2 years old, Con.
Yeah, that's right. I fucking remember it like it was yesterday. Because he's
on TV though. He has a great rant where he's just killing a whole team, right?
Oh, yeah.
That still lives on the internet. Is it the World Cup team or who's he going after?
Probably.
Wait, our World Cup team was just selected, and I heard some people get left off.
Who?
There was.
Well, yeah, they can't fucking pick everybody, AJ. I mean, shit, you know.
Oh, look at this guy.
Dog.
Alexi Lawless.
Yeah.
He also was in the hit show Vikings.
He was.
Right after this.
He also,
Was he really?
yeah, he was also a commanding officer in the Red Army in the World War II for Russia.
Congrats, Alexi.
A lot of guys look just like that.
Wow. Yeah, he was in Saving Private Ryan, right?
Well, the Red Army, Russia was not in Saving Private
Wait, we're in November. Everything's supposed to start, right?
Yeah.
When's the first game
Next
being
Sunday.
played?
Yeah.
Next Sunday.
Yeah, the 20th.
And I saw some early looks at some of the accommodations. Looks amazing. Is that 5 or 6 star? Some of those rooms.
6, I think.
The shipping container. They have like a whole island of shipping containers. They just lined up next to each
Those
other.
aren't to sleep in. Those are just part of like the fan experience.
Oh, what is that? Like a pop-up shop? Like I can go buy a T-shirt?
No, like a place where you like, kind of like if you were like, let's say World Cup games were being held in Chicago. They're not because they're not. But they would set up like a fan experience park where like people would be in parks and they'd hang out and like kick balls into nets and stuff like that. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So that's all that I saw. All those like
They look
That's
sweet.
not where they're sleeping.
Yeah, they built, I think, like a Michelin-rated restaurant right there where you can get like buckets of poop and slop, which I assume is the amenities that people are going to be eating over there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks great though. It's only like $200-$300 a night to sleep in those.
Is anyone there? Is anyone traveling there to go? Like to go watch?
Well, you can't drink booze, I don't think.
Yeah, you can't really
have fun.
Go on dates.
Can you do anything?
We can watch fucking world-class soccer.
Yeah, you can do that.
I would imagine, though, a lot of those, like, the rich people that go to the World Cup, wherever it is, like, a big part of it is the hobnobbing and going to dinner at night and meeting with people and networking. Is any of that happening?
Well, that's like the big draw about it is when you go, you can be reminded why your country is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't live in Qatar.
Oh, okay. The Qatar was an interesting situation that they were chosen for this.
Still is, yeah. You were just talking about that. Look at that.
Oh, Jay Glazer's there?
Well, that's different. I mean, luminary like Jay Glazer shows up there, obviously rolling out the red carpet.
Wait, what? Is Jay doing stuff for the World Cup,
Fox,
or is he just going to Qatar?
Well, is
Fox
Qatar like Dubai where it's like super, super nice?
They have their areas.
I'm sure there's really like everywhere. There's nice areas. There's areas that aren't so nice, right?
Yeah.
But they do have. They have no booze.
Is that a KFC? No,
Yeah,
it's not.
QFA. No, they
go down.
They have like designated areas.
Wait, is this a hotel?
If it's that red, it's probably a Kenny Rogers Roasters.
That's his hotel room view, I believe the tweet says.
They have areas like where you can drink and stuff, but you just don't want to like take a wrong turn because you might run into like a firing squad, and then that'll ruin your day.
Places like the kid from Ohio that spray painted cars in Singapore and he got caned.
Yeah.
He's from Kettering, Ohio, bringing it full circle. We talked about Kettering earlier today.
How did you do
They
that?
gave him a cane?
That's what I do. Give him a cane? No, they call it a caning, I believe, right? Or flog, whatever it was, a huge long stick, and they beat him with it.
Oh.
And we came in and
Dog.
negotiated. Not we as in Americans, I guess.
You went over, right?
No, I was young. I was a youngster. I don't
Bring this boy back to Kettering.
Come on, AJ.
I do wonder who stepped in because
will you
Singapore's like, all right, we're
please?
going to cane this dude. I think he just spray painted like some cars, but they're very, very strict on certain things. And they were going to cane him like 15 times. And I think whoever stepped in and he got caned like 6 times. They negotiated down for him, but he still got hit.
And moral of the story is...
I saw the Sandman cane Tommy Dreamer like 15 times. There was no negotiating going on, okay?
That's a
It
good
was
point.
Straight Singapore cane.
Didn't Clint Eastwood go over and save that kid?
Clint Eastwood.
You might be right.
I don't think so on this one. What were you saying, Ty? You had something.
Honestly,
going.
the moral of the story is if you're going to a different country, don't act like an asshole because everyone hates America.
Boom.
Yeah. That's right, isn't it?
And you don't know the laws over there.
And you don't, you may think you can just spit on the sidewalk and be a stooge, but
You
can't.
can.
Exactly.
You just need to be okay with maybe getting your head sliced off.
You're going to pay the price.
Was that real? There was a video a while
Can you
ago.
pay the price?
Maybe. Have you seen the documentary with the one journalist who got decapitated by ISIS?
I have not
I don't
seen
mean
the
to end the show on a down note.
What are you doing?
But I felt terrible. That guy was an absolute warrior. If you guys watched it, I think what's it called? It's a documentary.
I don't know. No
It's
one else
very
has seen it
powerful.
other than you.
No, because I don't want him to die in vain, Ty. I'm looking out for his family,
You're
everybody.
full of shit.
This
I don't
dude
want
died
his
on
life.
camera.
Yeah.
I don't either. That's why he died for you, Tone.
Hashtag
Somebody
PMS
else did that too. You might want to pay attention
Week
to him.
10.
PMS.
NFL Week 10. Let's pick a winner.
That being
say something nice to somebody, and
Nonetheless.
then maybe throw a cash tag in there, and maybe watch the FIFA docu-series. Okay,
Sure.
Because
Whatever you
that
wanna do.
one looks topical.
You know, there it
There are
is.
the rooms. Here we go.
So this is that's a falafel place though. That's a restaurant.
Yeah, I think those are more like
They serve
like when you go to
delicious
Vegas and buy like a
Oh yeah, here we go.
cabana.
Keep going. I like
yeah,
that.
this is like Tomorrow World.
Oh, see, that's a
Actually-
rendering. That's not even real.
Yeah, these are only two I have.
We
A
go back to the
rendering
other
and
one.
then the
Might be
Go back to the
staying in
real
those,
one.
though.
The other one,
These are the shipping containers they were talking about. They're not building the
might be-
stadium. They're building the whole place.
It might be staying in there.
They
now
do
that
have
we-
a stadium with the shipping containers.
And
as
look
well,
at the
but
floor too. They just put terrible like
artificial turf.
turf over
lava.
dirt.
Well, because it's lava.
The white containers look a little nicer back there though.
Yeah, I wonder if they set it up by country, because they have those flags up there. Is that
I was
just all
gonna
the country?
say what it.
And where do you? There's no way those containers. So they have
hummus meat. So it says.
falafel.
I believe meal. Hummus
Falafel
Hummus
combo
meal.
meal. I bet that's fucking.
So
good.
are there community showers and bathrooms too? Probably. Like there's no way those little containers are all plumb. For
No, they just. I think at like the center of the camp, they just have a massive poop bucket, and everyone just you wait your turn. We're only gonna empty this thing once a day.
Oh, I thought there was one big hole and everyone just hangs little cakes over the side.
Yeah.
So there's like 100 people at a time just surrounding the perimeter of this hole.
That's actually a good idea.
But then somebody has to go
They
down
light
there
it
and
on
push 'em.
fire at night to power the
Yeah.
entire.
And
Exactly.
it smells really, really good when they light it on fire too. And there's-
Have you seen All Quiet on the Western Front yet, or no?
I have not. How is it?
You should. It's really, really good.
Did us talking about pooping into a big hole bring that up?
Yeah, it actually did remind me. There's a scene where they poop and they're just sitting on a little wooden bench. Cakes
That would
hanging
not be
off.
fun. What's up, Diggs?
Nothing.
You seem like you have something to say.
Diggs is just thinking,
Diggs
what
is
the
looking at me
fuck
like,
are we talking
chuckling.
about?
All right, Diggs.
I think.
Hammer Down will be at 3:10, correct?
Yeah.
Hammer Down. Can't wait. Boys, thanks for having me in again another Friday. I'm going to get out of here. We're going to make sure we watch Pat tomorrow, right? 9 to 12.
That's right.
9 to
College
12.
game day, TCU versus Texas.
Yep.
Not sure if Matt McConaughey will be there.
He will.
Yeah, he will. He has to be. Huge game. And hashtag PMS NFL Week 10. Pick a winner.
Hashtag PMS NFL Week 10. Pick a winner, right? Maybe your cash tag.
Cash tag, say something nice to somebody, and yeah, make sure you don't pick a losing team.
Yeah, don't pick a losing team. That's very easy to do these days in the current
Don't pick the Jags.
NFL.
Is what I'm saying.
Well, you never know what the Jags can do, though, Conrad.
No, you know they're losing.
All right, nonetheless, boys, thank you guys, everyone behind the glass, everyone here. Thank you. I will be joining you guys Monday for Overreaction Monday from the attic. Pat will be back here in the FanDuel Thunderdome. Thank you, boys. Appreciate everybody. We'll see you Monday.